This is a Headgum podcast.
Elvis, Cher, Eminem, Caruso? These names are all trademarked, and if you don't recognize the outlier, it's because it's not Rick Caruso's talent that gave his name value, it's his empire of SoCal malls. Jump-started by the financial patronage of his father, the founder of Dollar Rent-A-Car, a young Rick Caruso grew from being a mere multimillionaire into a billionaire via an ever-expanding real estate portfolio. In 2002, he opened his signature property, outdoor shopping center The Grove, a corporatist simulacrum of a walkable neighborhood, with varied building architecture and a superfluous trolley, redefining the idea of the American shopping mall. The Grove was followed by a series of similar developments like the Americana at Brand and Palisades Village, targeted at moneyed Angelenos willing to pay exorbitant parking fees to choose between multiple yoga stores, and Caruso's money and influence made him something of a kingmaker in local politics. And in his eyes, who better to be a king than Caruso TM himself? In February 2022, the lifelong Republican launched his quixotic mayoral run as a Democrat, using his own war chest to blanket the city with campaign ads advocating for more cops and a small business bill of rights, and heavily leaning on his backing from celebrities. And so, in May of 2022, the Rick Caruso for Mayor of Los Angeles campaign released an endorsement ad from Academy Award-winning actor and New Age scam goddess Gwyneth Paltrow. While Paltrow's endorsement was vague, Caruso's steadfast support within the city's elite seems rooted in what was once called limousine liberalism, and perhaps now more accurately, Tesla liberalism, an outward championing of optics-friendly ideals like diversity and inclusion, but whose actual priorities are increasing their home valuations and decreasing their tax burdens. But while there may be more than enough rich residents to patronize Caruso's shopping centers, there were not enough to stuff the ballot boxes, and he lost in the runoff after spending, by some reports, over $80 million of his own money. As for Paltrow, her own retail empire of wellness tonics, crystals, and horny candles has survived being a punchline and vastly expanded its bottom line, adding a ghost kitchen around the time the Caruso campaign shit the bed. With a food program led by esteemed fine dining chef Kim Floresca, the offshoot now has 5 outlets for takeout and delivery, serving the city's wealthiest and most exclusive zip codes, not coincidentally where Caruso voters clustered. Because fortunately for Paltrow, Caruso, and the rest of the city's richest, the candidate who won the race, current Mayor Karen Bass, also sucks, and the growing income striation that enables this ruinous New Age Gilded Age continues unabated. This week on Doughboys, Goop Kitchen. Welcome to Doughboys, the podcast about chain restaurants. I'm Nick Weiger, along with my co-host, David Lunch's Red Velvet, the Spoon Man, Mike Mitchell.
Instead of blue.
David Lunch's critically acclaimed Red Velvet. Thanks from Stevie, roastedbirdfuck.com.
Thanks, Stevie. Wow, you used it from the roast at bird. Was this? Oh no, this is fake. You're lying.
I'm saying that's the address to send it in, roastedbirdfuck.com.
Yeah, but that wasn't from that one.
It probably came from the old pool of emails because of when we're recording this chronologically. Yeah. Yeah.
And your hair reveal, it's looking good today.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah. Are you I'm kind of hair twins with our guest, which we'll get to. Are you a David Lynch guy? You like David Lynch?
More than our guest, you look a little more zone of interesty, I guess you could say.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
That's a good movie.
That's a good movie.
Yes, I'd want to be in a good movie.
What did you ask me? Sorry.
This is the kind of thing that would be going on in the zone of interest, like two guys recording a podcast about Gwyneth Paltrow's ghost kitchen
atrocities.
Yeah. Stone's throw away.
What was your actual question? Sorry.
Are you a David Lynch guy? I mean, Mulholland Drive, great movie.
I like Lynch quite a bit.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of Twin Peaks?
See, this is the thing. I've never seen Twin Peaks.
Oh,
and everyone says, you gotta watch Twin Peaks. But like, just anytime it's like a TV show I got to commit to, I'm I don't know. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's much bigger than watching a movie. I'm much more like it's part of the reason I'm a bigger movie guy than a TV guy.
I think you'd like it a lot. I think you should watch it.
I've heard good things. I'm sure I would love it, but I've never
start
seen
with
it.
the movie.
I have seen the movie. That's the only thing I've seen is Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me.
You know what's funny? I haven't seen the movie.
Good movie.
It's great.
I got to watch the movie.
Good movie.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Happy Monday, Wags.
Happy Monday, Mitch. Shirley Manson is somewhere smiling ear to ear because it is a rainy day here in LA.
I got myself the China sweatshirt.
Very cool.
Did you not notice that when I came in?
I did see it.
Yeah, you've been there.
This is a restaurant. This is a bar in Quincy, Massachusetts. I've been to the China.
Yeah, I bought one when I was back there. And I did a thing that was like stupid. You know how you get like people a round of drinks?
Yeah.
I was like, everyone, I'll get you a sweatshirt. So I bought like 4 sweatshirts, 5 sweatshirts.
That's fun.
No, it was stupid. It was so much money. I didn't realize it. It was a lot to do.
If you buy like the shirt or the any of the apparel you buy at the restaurant, it's always like vastly inflated. I remember I bought a hat at Ruby Snap, which I still wear. This was a cookie restaurant in Salt Lake City we went to on tour, and it was like $30. Like, this is absurd. $30 for a hat.
Yeah. You haven't said that since Kevin is that what it was? Was the Kevin James pop-up movie? It was Moobies, right?
It wasn't the Kevin James pop-up. I'd love to have a Kevin James pop-up. Let's have a Hitchburger. Why not?
Oh, shit. Kevin, what's his name? The other fat Kevin.
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith.
Yeah, they both look great.
Yeah, I think he is skinny now.
He did. He lost a lot of weight.
But
That was Moobies. The Moobies burger or the chicken sandwich.
Oh, it was the food that was $30?
Yeah, the food was $30.
Oh,
absurd.
Wasn't there Kevin Smith cruise we were gonna do?
The View Askew cruise. We're not gonna do it, but I was just saying, like, wouldn't it be funny if we did do it?
It would be funny, and I think we should do it.
We're not gonna do it.
All right,
not gonna get on a cruise ship. What we are gonna do, Mitch, is you're gonna play your drop, and then we get a little bit of business.
Okay. I didn't know if you were gonna do the business first.
No, let's play the drop, and then we'll get to our business.
How to Spoon Nation. Emma, hit him with the drop. I mean, I kind of did my own drops just by singing.
Eat a levy breaks, it's gonna be a really bad day.
That sounds like you're doing an Adam Sandler impression. That was fun. Good drop.
A couple things. One, we've just been notified about copyright stuff.
We got an email from Anya here at Headgum.
And that was like
got to
the
be
most
conscious of copyright on.
That was basically when the levee breaks.
It was one of those. It was. It was like it was one of those emails that is like, hey, this is for everybody, but it's just like, hey, just so you know, like the toilets at Headgum clog easily. You know, just telling all the podcasts that record at Headgum, they should know that. It was the same sort of email that we have to be conscious of copyright. So if you are submitting a drop out there to drops@birdfuck.com, royalty-free is a way you could get to the top of the stack.
I don't know.
We're talking.
I think it's also fair use because it's parody and you're reinterpreting something. So probably, but I'm just saying,
like 10 seconds. Just
use
snippet of it and put stuff over.
Keep the drop short, which helps it to be even to begin with.
He doesn't
but
like
also,
the drops. He was hoping that you.
I love the drops. I'm saying like keep them short. And that which helps both sides of the issue. We're not taking up too much time with the drop, but then also we are not going to run in afoul of copyright lawyers.
I've done myself a disservice because when the levee breaks, a nice song by Led Zeppelin.
Yeah,
it's my alarm. So like when I hear it,
got a negative association with it.
Except I do the I do the wake up alarm. You know how Apple has like it's like do 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 do. You know that little song.
Copyrighted.
Oh shit. That song, let's inlay a joke over that or something if we can. When I was singing it, it's gonna be a bad joke. I'm realizing that's the song that wakes me up now, and it doesn't bother me. They do a good job with it because it's a nice light song that you hear. As far as drop material goes, Wags, we gotta get to some business first.
Yes, yeah.
But I was looking at.
Wait, did you care to set that in?
Okay. Hey, Mitch, Nick, DK, Emma, and Amelia. Here's a little drop featuring Mitch's vocals from way back on the Andrew T episode in 2019.
Wow.
I had to adjust the tempo.
We did the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
That is when we did the Popeyes chicken sandwich, I think. I have no idea. I don't remember. I had to adjust the tempo a little bit, but otherwise, I think Mitch's rendition is pretty good. Wishing you all a great 2024. Steve in Ontario, Canada. Professor Steve on the Discord.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah,
you think he's an actual professor, or is that stolen valor?
There's no fucking way. He's on the Discord? You think he's an actual professor?
Maybe his wife's a professor.
Yeah, his wife is probably a professor. He uses that title.
Yeah. It makes me a professor, too, because my wife is one.
No, it doesn't.
Cool, man.
You think a lot of the Discord is married?
Surprising.
I think surprisingly, yes.
Surprising amount of our Discord server is
Makes
married.
me feel pretty
much more successful spouses.
I was gonna say Emma also was just holding up. You've gone full Mitch. She was just holding up the thing from her phone. She was playing the drop from her phone.
There's something happening on my laptop that would have affected the audio if I played it from my
It worked out
computer.
great. It sounded great. We heard it.
I
loud
liked
and
it.
clear
I
here.
like that you were pulling a Mitch.
Maybe I'll keep doing it.
I found something. I was looking at dead. You should keep doing it. I was looking at dead cats. My dead cats.
Whoa.
I wasn't looking at them dead. I was looking at my cats from the past. They're dead now.
Remembering cats that you've loved and pet.
Zip and Buster. Yes,
past.
I was like, I was having like an emotional thing last night, and I found a video of me, and I actually lived in LA at this time, but I want to play it for you after we get to business because it's insane.
It's a video of you with Buster?
Yes, but it's about my voice.
Do you have it queued up?
I mean, I can get it queued up.
Do you want to send it to
Do you
me?
want to do it now?
No, let's do it later, but like send it up and we can get it on the big screen.
Okay.
So we can all watch
it. You don't have to. The video isn't as important as much as the sound is. So I'm going to pull a Mitch.
Okay.
But once you hear
well, then just play it now.
But it's about how I sound, and it actually like blew me away a little bit.
Your voice was probably a different pitch. Is that what or we should just hear it?
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Here, this is it.
Buster. Buster. Come here. Come here.
That might be it. I sound like Peter Griffin.
I was gonna say your Boston accent is so strong. Come here.
You sound very Boston and much more higher pitched.
Come here.
I sound like Peter Griffin.
You do sound very Peter Griffin-esque.
I used to sound like Peter Griffin.
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy. I guess you don't give a shit.
No, I'm just like, yeah, you kind of say, I mean, I've heard your accent come out, though, in different contexts.
I set it up as too big?
You set it up like it was going to be a bigger thing than it was.
I thought I was pretty big. I sound like a different person.
But there wasn't much substance to the clip is the thing. I think you kind of oversold it a little bit.
Buster, come here. That's what I sound like.
Buster.
I sound like a fucking
Buster,
different
come
guy.
here.
Buster, come here.
Buster, come here.
Lois, Buster's not coming. I sound like Peter Griffin. You don't care that much.
No, I liked it.
Is it possible the cat knew you from back then and you were trying to sort of like
Oh, yeah.
show that you hadn't changed?
I think I did live in LA at that point, which I think is the crazy thing about it. And I think maybe I was back in Quincy. And
that's what it is. Because when I've been with you in Quincy and when you've been around your friends and family, the accent comes out. You code switch a little
I don't
bit.
sound like that, though. Anyways. Look, I said to do it after this poor guy who's sitting here waiting for us to introduce him.
Yeah. This is going to work out great because our special guest we have before we get to our actual guest for this episode, who's also being very patient with us, is our Doughboys ad Chad, Killian.
Wow.
Congratulations, Killian. Great to talk with you.
Thank you, Weiger. Thank you, Mitch. I really appreciate the recognition.
Wow.
You know, I just went out and bought my partner a fine pocket watch as a present. So I'm really excited to see what she's going to do with it.
Wow.
I love that. Is that a gift of the Magi reference?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. It's something different.
We have to ask because we tried to drill it down. I guess Alan Tudyk. Who is the headshot in your background on your tableau here?
So that is an autographed picture of Pat Sajak.
Sajak.
Yeah, I did come into possession of this. I didn't seek it out on my own. This was given to me. A supervisor of mine was leaving their office very quickly. They'd gotten a job offer, and they're just like, "I'm out of here. I'm gone." And they just handed me a manila envelope, asked me to check what was in there. I opened it, and it was that. And she let me keep it. So there it remains on my wall. And I think the thing he even signed is kind of mean. It's like a great attention span or something.
Is it to you, or is it
No,
just generic?
No. It's a
Got
generic one. It's one of 1,000, I'm sure.
And you don't, just because we're like making you part of the Doughboys brand, you don't agree with Pat Sajak's politics, right?
Only one part of them, but I'm not going to clarify what that is. That's for you. Yeah.
Our guest did guess that it was Bill Maher on your wall, which did make us nervous.
You thought this was Club Random?
The Mars in the bathroom. That's for guests.
Well, congratulations on being Ad Chad. Also, tisk tisk, 3 other people aren't Ad Chad, and that's kind of your fault as well.
Yeah, you should feel a little guilty for that.
Yeah.
Heavy as the head that wears the crown and all that.
They do a Highlander thing. They got it. That's all I'm saying.
We are going to get you a new mic, and we are going to hear your voice at the end of this episode reading our promos for the month of February. You will be doing that all month long, so we're very, very thrilled to have you. Congratulations.
Congrats.
And great pipes, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you. And have a great episode, everyone.
Thank you, bud.
You.
Thanks, Killian.
It's gonna be bad, but
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
Not because of our guests, because of us.
Thank you, Killian.
Start off with the Buster bullshit.
Hey, Mitch, from Killian to Killing It
Wow.
on Peacock. Our guest today, Luke Del Tredici. Hi, Luke. Thanks so much for being here.
Hey, thank you guys.
Thanks for being
I
here.
really appreciate
Yeah,
this.
thank you for being here.
We were clarifying your last name pronunciation before we started because I've heard it a few different ways. And the way you said for us is that your name rhymes with cheddar cheese.
Del cheddar cheese, yeah. It's that's
Right, Del cheddar cheese.
Yeah. The problem is that it should Tredici means 13 in Italian.
Wow.
Yeah, the name means of the 13. There's a clear right way to pronounce it, and it's not the way my family chooses to pronounce it. And it's like a fight I have a lot with my wife as to whether or not I can be mispronouncing my own name or not.
Right.
And she's like insistent that I am, and I feel like that sucks of her. But we choose.
By the way, that's the Quincy experience for me because we say Quincy and everyone's like Quincy, but the Quincy family, I mean, like the Quincy's supposedly pronounce.
Yeah, you guys know.
We know. We know. We get it.
I think you can say your own name however you want. We give people the leeway to say their own name and also to call themselves whatever they want. We just go along with that.
Interestingly, so my wife has now spent 11 years working on I have twin daughters who are 11, and they have the last name, and she's committed to getting them to say it in a different way than it's always been said in the family.
Oh my God.
And so it's really like there's tension, and a little bit of jockeying back and forth.
That's very funny.
It all feels very disrespectful.
Our buddy Ryan Stanger of the Great Action Boys podcast. I'm wearing their merch today, which is why I'm thinking of it. But he says his name's Stanger, and people call him Stanger. But apparently, a lot of his family says Stanger, like danger.
Yeah, Stanger. Yeah, that was
I heard that out. I was
crazy
shocked.
reveal.
He just chose to go in a different direction.
I don't know how much
he
of it
never
is him
really
going,
corrects people.
Yeah, I think he just doesn't
is
correct
what the
people.
deal
And he just
is,
sort of
which I
rolls
feel
with
like you also don't. Like, right? You kind of
because people can't pronounce it anyway, so there's no point in it. But
I haven't tried. I don't know if you noticed. I've never tried.
I always wonder if my name shows up on a TV show or whatever, how I feel like people picture Mario or something, It's so I went the other day in Highland Park in Los Angeles, there's this thing called the it's like the Garibaldina Society. It's an Italian social club. And a friend of mine invited me, and I think they saw my name on the roster and were very excited for me to show up and essentially be a 75-year-old, Italian man hunched over in a suit. And I really let a lot of people down. And they want to talk to me about Italy, and it's just I have nothing.
Well, the name is very so it means of the 13 or 13.
It means of the 13.
What is that? What the hell does that mean? Is it a regal
apostles?
I think there's two things I've heard. One was like my great grandmother was an orphan, was like dropped off at was like found on the street or something. And there was some sense that she might have been on they didn't bother giving the orphans names. She was just the 13th bed, but that seems crazy.
Wow.
There's no way that's true.
Yeah.
That's they gave the orphans names. It would be insane to raise a child to 18 and have him be still just give them a number. I think that there were towns maybe outside of Rome didn't always have names and were sort of numbered by the town that they were outside of Rome.
Mm-hmm.
But even that seems false because I think then there'd be more like of the ninth of the eighth, and there doesn't seem to be a lot of that.
I give Italians a hard time on the podcast.
Yeah, we've heard this.
But a beautiful country. Have you visited? Actually, I believe it.
Great question.
I saw you at LAX. Were you coming from Italy?
I was coming from France.
France. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. We did run into each other at LAX. Yes, I've been to Italy. So you're right. It's a wonderful country. It's a really great point. A good observation.
It's a really nice country. Yeah, I give it a hard time.
And a lot of people, obviously disagree with you. But you're
a lot of people hate Italy.
Yeah, everyone is just. No, I have no connection to Italy at all. It's like the name is the only Italian thing about me, and it's.
You don't have sauce? You don't have a Sunday sauce or a gravy? Like no one in your family did that or anything like that? Or
my grandmother was like, my grandfather, who was the only Italian, real Italian member, died when I was very, very little. So I only knew my grandmother. So she was German. So like all of our family dishes are sort of German actually inspired, and then like occasionally a tomato thrown in, but it's really not. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm from Boston, but it was like. I feel like I only knew Irish people.
Yeah. Which is that's mostly what's there.
Yeah. There were a lot of Italians somewhere, but not in like my town.
The North End. Wow, you've been to the North End.
I've been to the North End. Yeah, I know the North End. I want to ask you about Italy and food a little bit because like here's the other thing I think people say about Italy. Great food country. Do you have any food memories?
Feels like you're kind of making fun of my
No,
thing.
I'm just saying like it's an observation some people have had.
Any food memories from going to Italy?
Yeah.
The food's fine. I don't know. I this is crazy. Are we supposed to be talking about Italy this much? I didn't prep. It was good. The pasta was really good. Yeah. I mean,
what do you think of Italian politics?
Because we love Berlusconi here.
Yes.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. All right.
It seems great. I think it's remarkable how little I know about Italian politics. They seem like I should know more, and I honestly couldn't tell you a thing about what's going on in Italy post Berlusconi.
They have like an overtly fascist president right now. That's all I know.
And then one last thing before we move out of Italy, Pope ranking. Wags? I think I go first.
You want to rank all of them?
Like your top three maybe. I think I go new Pope 1, young Pope 2.
Okay.
And then I don't know.
The one of the two popes?
Yeah, one of the two popes.
I think it's like some recency bias entering there. You're kind of like forgetting like the Pope Piuses of the world, but that's fine.
I feel like the two popes maybe would make my I mean, I know
they could both be in the top
they'd
three.
Be in the top three just because of the movie. I don't.
But would you give them one slot? Because sometimes people will be like I would put Godfather 1 and 2 or the Godfather trilogy as one slot in the Sight and Sound poll, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Pick one movie.
I am gonna do that. The two popes get the slot, the first slot.
Exactly the kind of shit you would do. I want to go back to your name because you got a Del in it.
Yeah,
and we don't encounter that often. We reviewed Del Taco last week, and the other big Del brand, Del Monte. Do you have any affection for Del Taco or Del Monte? And were you ever like eating Del Taco and we're like, just a thing you could say like, I'm more like Luke Del Taco?
Well, no. Okay. I've actually never had Del Taco.
Wow.
I know people like, that's very upsetting. I feel no affinity to it.
No, I'm not pissed. I'm surprised.
You guys like Del Taco more than...
He loves Del Taco.
Yeah.
I do love Del Taco. We had kind of a mid outing last week.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Just last week.
Just last week's episode, yeah.
You gave it 5 forks still.
Yeah, I give it 5 forks.
No, I do wonder if I'd grown up here with Del Tacos because they aren't on the East Coast. If people would have made that connection for me and it would be a thing I hate. But as it is, it's never come up.
Wow.
No one's ever said Luke Del Taco or Luke Del Monte.
You're the first, why?
That's wild.
Wow.
I don't think I've got to be honest. I can't say I've ever had Del Monte. What, fruit cups?
They're like canned fruits and vegetables. They're not very exciting.
Is Del Monte? When I was in Costa Rica, they hate Dole. They might hate Dole.
Company.
They hate like the company's like evil or
right. Whatever the fruit cabal was that funded the totalitarian government or whatever the country's tortured politics were.
To go back to the Pope rankings, does Father Guido Sarducci count as one of the Pope? Can you put him in the Pope ranking?
I think the issues with him are he's not a Pope.
Yeah.
Seems like a big one.
Yeah.
And then also like just fictional, I think is the
Yeah,
other thing.
I guess that's
those are
another
two
one.
strikes
Yeah.
against him.
Well, but several of the other popes were fictional.
I guess the young Pope and the new Pope are both fictional.
All right, so Guido Sarducci,
yeah,
number
just
one.
yeah.
This is my first.
I mean, but this is also like your problem with lists. There are sometimes where people are like, we'll put a movie in a list of best TV shows, or so I don't know what was he anything? He was just a priest.
He was a
it would have just been a
priest. He gets his head turned around backwards in Casper, I believe.
He's in Casper?
He's in Casper for a second. When I watched Guido
Wait, but he's playing the Guido Sarducci character in Casper? I have completely memory hold this.
When I think about Guido Sarducci, this is mean. Should I say it? My first thought is like, was comedy much easier like 30 years ago? I mean, I'm not doing a good job with comedy now anyways,
right.
But I'm saying like to be like, I'm an Italian priest guy, I mean,
it is kind of amazing
I'm being
how much
reductive of what he is, I guess, but
I don't know the actor
really.
at all, but it's kind of amazing how much mileage he got out of that character, that he was just like a fiction. Like I remember seeing that guy on TV for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And just a guy playing a character of like an Italian priest.
There's nothing like that now, right? That like
No, yeah.
where like free floating characters just pop from franchise to franchise, or
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't really think of it.
I mean, like
Larry the Cable Guy, honestly.
Oh,
kind
Cable,
of that.
he was
Larry
maybe the last one,
and he plays Larry. Like in every movie he's been in, the character's been named Larry, except for the Cars movies.
I always think when I hear anything about Larry the Cable Guy, my wife, she lived in France for a while, and she's from Los Angeles, but she had like moved to France for a good long period. And during that time, the sort of blue collar comedy tour thing had happened, and Larry the Cable Guy had become a success. And then she moved back from France right as the movie Larry the Cable Guy Health Inspector was coming out.
Oh, yeah.
But she didn't have the like frame of reference to know that his name was Larry the Cable Guy. And that title, she was like, couldn't figure out what the movie was possibly about. The title Larry the Cable Guy Health Inspector, if you don't know that that's his name. I think about that all the time, of like just like staring at the poster trying to figure out what the premise of the movie could possibly be.
A guy who has two jobs? All right.
There's a great Larry the Cable Guy clip where he's talking about cars.
Oh yeah, he gets emotional.
It's like he gets emotional. And now it's like on TikTok with like sentimental music behind it. But
Is
it's
he
great.
Are we supposed to like? Do we like him now? Has he had like actually? There's something noble about him, like Guy Fieri style.
I don't know. I don't know anything about him.
Yes,
personally.
I think the answer is yes.
I think you can. I think he seems very human in that moment because he's talking about like, wow, this is what you so rarely see someone grapple with like what it feels like to have success, and it's just and having like a true gratefulness for that,
Mm-hmm.
So I think that clip is very humanizing. I don't know anything about him as a man.
Yeah,
I've never enjoyed any of
Whitney,
his
I think, is the actor.
content, but I've never seen Cars, and I know that you really like Cars.
You
Nick.
should gotta watch Cars.
You really like Cars?
I don't know if I love Cars, but I think they're like fun movies.
If you were to guess Nick's age based off his favorite restaurant is Del Taco, and he loves Cars
and the Minions.
and the Minions.
But Cars 3-star Cruz Ramirez.
Yes,
we
we've had
had
on
on
the
the show,
podcast.
Cristela, Frank Cristela. Let's talk a little bit about Boston because you are from Boston.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, baby.
first off,
You better not treat us like Italy. You like Boston, right?
I mean, I really don't like Boston. It's not a great place. I'm not from Boston proper. I'm from Watertown, which is like a sort of nothing suburb.
Mm-hmm.
I think Watertown is like a weird. It's sandwiched in between Newton, Cambridge, Belmont, these sort of fancier suburbs.
Yeah.
And we always felt more working class, but we're not like Boston, the town working class, or Quincy, like where we get to sort of like, I don't know, luxuriate in the sort of self-mythologizing about working class Boston tough guys.
Right.
We were just sort of like a shitty, sad place without any remarkable features, except for like there was a armory that made munitions for the military until I was in high school.
Yeah.
And now it's a mall
interesting. Why is it
what a
called?
segue.
Why is it called Watertown?
on the river.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Makes sense. Tracks.
It's
The same thing happened to the there used to be a naval base in Long Beach, and when they did all those base closures, like that got turned into a shopping center. So it's what happens with everyone.
Watertown
It's like what the American economy has become.
Watertown
Service
had
economy.
2 malls that were like 2 of the big malls in the area, and they were across the street, and now they've been turned into insanely. They were indoor malls, and like lots of indoor malls, they haven't worked, and now one of them has been into a big outdoor mall, which is crazy in Massachusetts. And it's like they all think that it's Los Angeles and it's the Grove, and that what everyone wants.
It is the most popular. Derby Street is one of them. There's a couple of of these big outdoor malls.
I was just there though, and it's fucking freezing cold, and you have to go outside constantly to walk from place to place, and it's raining all the time because it's Boston, and it's insane that they've chosen to do that. The nice indoor mall was great.
Yeah, it's only used it's like November, December, and January, or when it's like the most used.
Yeah.
Jemmy also snored, by the way.
Cute.
I want to make she snored on my leg. I want to make it clear because it sounded like I maybe shit my pants. So I want to be clear.
Jemmy would have left the couch if that happened.
There's so many people in our Reddit who'll be like, "Did you hear like a burp or a fart like during an episode?" It's like that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
No, I
We're
don't.
not like
and if
shit-
it did, I would have cut it out. So
Yes.
I think they're burping and farting, and they're just
They're
confusing
just
it.
hearing
Totally
themselves.
possible. Yeah, I don't know.
But they're like, so I just wanted to, they will put on Reddit, did you hear a burp or a fart? Like they actually want, what are they hoping to get out of posting that?
That's a great question.
It's a great question.
I don't know what they're getting out of being on the Doughboys subreddit anyways,
Or
I guess.
listening to the podcast for that matter.
That's also true.
Yeah, in a broader sense. Yeah, I don't know.
I've come around on those Reddit nuts. They're fun.
I think they well, speak for yourself. I think there is an urge to be like, I'm the person who spotted something, or I got him. Like I fucking got him. Because I think there's also an element of fandom now, which is kind of like, honestly, to some degree, kind of how I listen to Bill Simmons, which is kind of like how much do you like this person, or how much are you just used to their personality? How much do you agree with their takes, and how much are you just sort of like, this is something that I'm just used to having in my ears? And so I think there are some people who maybe don't like us, and but still are just habituated to listening to Doughboys, so they're looking for reasons to get us.
There's plenty that don't like us.
Yeah.
If you look at it, there's many who don't like us all the time.
Yeah.
And like comment every week. I'm like, why are you doing this? I think I've said that to some of them. Like, why are you doing this?
Because you were reading the comments, right?
Yeah, I
Is
guess
why they're doing it.
I guess that's probably
I feel
part
like
of the
it's
reason why.
probably like a Batman Joker thing where they sort of exist. You guys exist in tandem, that you both need each other, I guess. Like
Batman Joker, but like penguin and fatter penguin.
there was a website from the early days of the internet called the Gaff Squad, where people would post gaffes from TV, like the continuity gaffes from TV shows. And I used to really like that. And I guess that's the same thing of like watching a show and being like, the glove switched hands, or like his level of wine went down 2 inches, and then like writing a whole long paragraph about it to like.
Which IMDb is the goofs section.
Yeah, the
is
goofs.
Still
Goofs and gaffes.
I'll peruse the goofs section of IMDb.
Oh, it's fun.
I'll take a look in there. Just peruse. Can you just look? Does that mean you have to like physically walk around or no?
No, you can peruse.
right.
Yeah,
All right,
you
good.
can
I said it right. All
peruse
right,
with your
I was
eyes.
second guessing myself.
You were thinking of, I think a lot of times people think of perusing, they think of like going through LPs at a record store, just sort of like a little bit tactile, but you're still using your eyes.
Well, you bring up a good point. I mean, well, you remind me of something. I was at the South Shore Plaza, which is still an indoor plaza. It's also where Paul Blart Mall Cop was shot.
Yeah.
Which is a much easier title to understand.
Is that set in Boston?
I don't think it is set in Boston. I think it was just shot at the South Shore Plaza, but I don't think.
Yeah, where is that set?
Feels like it's Jersey.
And maybe it's.
I've seen it.
I could see Kevin James saying it has to be Jersey or something.
Gotta.
Yeah.
But he's not.
New Jersey.
Doesn't care.
It
enough,
is New Jersey.
Doesn't care
Wow.
enough about the state to film there.
To film there, yes. I feel like we had tax breaks at that.
Yeah, of course.
The Massachusetts tax breaks, but I think now they don't, because they don't do as many productions anymore.
No, because I think what always happens with those tax breaks is that states offer them to just pay millions of dollars to the movie studios with the thought that we will establish a local community, a local like industry, and we'll we'll set up the whole infrastructure, and we'll build up crews, and then the studios will love making things here so much that when we remove the tax breaks, they'll of course stay because it's such a pleasant experience to film in the city of Boston or New Orleans or Vancouver. And the second they remove the tax breaks, the companies are like, fucking see you later.
Yeah, we'll chase the other.
Yeah, and we'll just go to Pittsburgh or North
exactly.
Carolina. And it's a disaster for, I mean, you shot in New Orleans. I know New Orleans had tax breaks and then like removed them because they were the biggest production hub in the US for a while. And they were like, we absolutely don't need to be writing $10 million checks left and right to, Warner Brothers and Disney. And they removed the tax breaks and just all production stopped in New Orleans till they like came back. I mean, I was gonna say like on their, knees begging, which makes them sound the city of New Orleans. really, really sad, but I think
please, Hollywood wouldn't need. I was trying to Bayou accent.
But they do. I think
gators are starving. Gotta come back.
Look at how skinny the gator is.
Gator looks like a snake.
It is a snake.
Oh.
They run him off.
Wow. That's a kind of trick you play down here in the bayou. Now show me your titties, you get some bees. Are you the mayor?
Yeah, I want to see them titties.
Let's not wait. I want to talk about killing it a little bit because a snake-centered show. Have you eaten snake?
Yeah, but only like fried rattlesnake bites.
What was it? What was the context for this, and where was it?
Before the show, I like the idea of you being like, before the show starts, I want to eat snake.
Yeah.
No, it was like I feel like it was some like Boston, like Tex-Mex cantina or something.
Oh, okay.
That, like as a
scary
kid had
to me.
rattlesnake.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was like had been frozen for. It's not like a local snake. I'm sure it was, it was like a novelty, and it was served with barbecue sauce or whatever.
No, that's when I've had snake, and I remember it being in sausage form. Rattlesnake is a sausage.
Yeah, I think I might have had rattlesnake sausage too, but it doesn't.
It's not particularly distinct.
No.
Yeah.
That's when I went to the Buckhorn Exchange. That was that's in Colorado. It's in Denver. It's like a very old restaurant, and that's the first time I had rattlesnake. When I first moved,
is that one of those
here.
places that has like what are the thing they call
Rocky Mountain oysters?
Yeah, Rocky Mountain oysters. Yeah,
they do. And my dad was like, to my sister and I was like, you should try the Rocky Mountain oysters. And I was like, all right, what are they, like some sort of balls or something? Like I knew immediately that it was something bad, and we didn't get them, but we did have the rattlesnake, and it was pretty good. It was decent, but
fine meat.
People watching the show is based on a real. It was a real thing, basically, right?
There are these. I mean, the show is, if people haven't seen it, which would be crazy because it's like a huge success.
I'll be very mad if listeners of our show haven't watched it.
Check it out on Peacock.
But it is, the state of Florida has this huge problem with like people who bought exotic pets, bought these giant Burmese pythons in South Florida, didn't realize how big they get because they can get to be 10, 12, 15, 17 feet long and weigh hundreds of pounds. And people just were like, well, the natural thing is there's swamps here. We'll drop them off in the swamps. And the snakes just are complete apex predators. And there's like, they eat every single thing. Nothing eats them. And they just have they've devoured some crazy percentage of all life in the Everglades. There's these amazing recordings you can hear from 30 years ago. People just made audio recordings of like what the Everglades sound like at night. They just put a microphone in the middle of the swamp and then what it sounds like now. And it's so much quieter because all these, it's like all birds, animals, like insects, it's all gone. It's like a lifeless swamp with hundreds of thousands of snakes and nothing else. And there are hundreds of thousands of them. And the state has these like, they start holding these sort of like year round, they pay people to kill the snakes. And then every year for the last 12 or 13 years, they've had the Python Bowl where basically like snake hunters from around the world can come and compete for a weekend to see who can kill the most snakes. The winner the first year got an ATV. Now it's like a cash prize. It is like, it's unbelievable. And killing them is like an incredibly brutal thing where you walk out and you like cut the snake's head off.
Right.
And these pythons they bite you, but they aren't venomous. They're constrictors. So they kind of just like bite you and start strangling you as you try to lop its head off. And it's just like, it's it's crazy, but it is also like they're genuinely so scary. And the fact that I always like cling to is there's like there are hundreds of thousands of snakes, but they've started mating with another kind of species of python, the Burmese ones, which are most prevalent. And this other kind of python is like less resistant to cold. And so it's like slowly allowing them to expand there. Because the only reason they're really stuck in Florida is they hate the cold. So they have to sort of be in the swamps down there. But now they're like the habitat where they can live is getting bigger and bigger. And they think that there'll be these snakes in New York City by the year 2100. They think these will be the dominant. I think they think it'll be the single dominant piece of wildlife in America is going to be like 20-foot snakes. It's really, and the funny thing is they have these, they have the contest every year, and the contest eliminates like 85 snakes over the course of a weekend. And there's 100,000 of the snakes, and they'll kill like one big female, and it has 70 eggs in it or something stupid like that. And it's just like there's no getting the problem under control. There's nothing to do. And the only solutions are like find something else that will kill the snakes, which is like always, it's like the old cane toads thing or whatever, where it's just going to be an escalating series of disasters.
Right. There's a whole Simpsons thing where they throw in like it's gorillas, right? Gorillas go and eat the snakes.
Yeah.
And then they're waiting for the gorillas to freeze to death.
Yeah.
It's a the things like the snakes being in New York City in 2100. That's the kind of thing like I love hearing about. I mean, I don't love hearing it, but I'm always fascinated by ways that that climate change is going to like completely wreck our Earth in ways that people don't expect. Like, that's just like one of those externalities of it. That's just like, oh, that's crazy. There's going to be snakes just going around the subway.
Yeah, you don't think about like snow as being a thing that keeps snakes out, but
right.
It like is to some degree, and it's like you're just going to get a lot more. I will say, speaking of that, with warming, I think it's a warming climate thing. I was in Boston, at least in Watertown recently. They've had a rabbit explosion.
I never saw rabbits in Quincy growing up, and there's so many rabbits.
Now
every
driving
night.
down the streets of my in my parents' neighborhood during the day, at night, there's hundreds of rabbits out constantly in a fully urban, suburban, but it's not the woods or anything. It's just houses and lawns and paved streets, and there's just like. You drive at night and your headlights like shine a yard and 12 rabbits look at you and scatter. And there are many more rabbits than squirrels.
Oh yeah.
And it's so, I can't get my head around what exactly is, they don't seem that weird, I guess, if you think of them as squirrels, but it's something so eerie and it feels like it's, the movie Us or something with those like bunnies there's something sinister about it.
Oh, it's strange. I never saw them at all growing up. And let me tell you, they're rascally. They're little. They're rascally rabbits.
They're rascally. At Long Beach City College, where my dad taught, there were just rabbits like all over campus. They're just like, and I have no idea what it led to. I don't know if someone released a pet like 20 years ago or whatever, but you just see rabbits everywhere.
Your mascot is the jackrabbit.
Long Beach Poly High Jackrabbit. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, almost colors and champions.
Yeah, I don't know if I like it. There's coyotes now in Quincy. There never were. I never saw any. I saw squirrels and your occasional raccoon and maybe like two possums in like the 20 years I was living in.
I did hear that in Boston you can just fully hunt the coyotes. They don't care. In an urban setting, they don't care.
Wow.
In LA, the coyotes are protected. So even though they are like. Everyone's scared of them and they take people's dogs. They're like, you can't do anything about it. And in Boston, they're like, sure, take a crossbow, go wander through the streets of Waltham,
Wow.
I feel bad for coyotes because of their history with the Roadrunner. I feel like they've always dealt with...
and now that movie got shelved.
That's a whole thing.
That's bullshit. Slaslov, what's his name?
Zaslav.
What the fuck? She did it again. Zaslav, come on. It's just bullshit, Wags. Yeah. Zaslav's he's out of control.
Do you have a favorite Looney Tune?
I mean, Is it? Oh, Daffy probably.
Daffy's very funny.
I was going to say Bugs because I was like, Bugs is the best, right? But he might still just be the best.
It might be the best. It's like his best Austin Powers character. Austin Powers is a fine answer. Best Mario character, Mario is a fine answer.
Yeah.
But it's okay to say Bugs Bunny, even though he's the mascot for the brand.
Well, do you have some sort of? Is this a trick question here?
No, I wasn't driving anything. I don't know who my answer would be. I mean, I did like Tweety Bird a lot.
Tweety Bird's pretty funny.
I think is very funny.
I liked Cats, so I was kind of more a Sylvester fan than Tweety.
Yeah, I get that, but their dynamic is great. They're kind of a duo, you know. Yeah. I really like Foghorn Leghorn.
He's good.
He's very funny.
Yeah. He's kind of like
I'm trying to think
mayor.
What is Porky Pig's defining characteristic?
I think
character.
Just that he has a stutter.
I think that he has a stammer. Yeah, I think like him and Elmer Fudd are both like characters that are defined by a speech impediment, which is kind of wild that they went to that.
But Elmer Fudd had a want. He had the clear goal of like catching the rabbit at least. Like, does Porky Pig have anything like that drives him?
I think I could be wrong, but did he want to be mayor? Am I making that up?
I don't know about that.
Is there a town?
I don't know. He had a vest. Didn't he wear a vest?
Yeah, I thought the whole thing was that kind of like he was not well qualified for kind of being the MC, being the announcer because of his stammer. But I don't know. I actually don't know what his want is. I don't know how you define him.
He doesn't have a vest. He has like a coat, a little jacket. Yeah,
a little jacket.
Yeah, bow tie, a hat sometimes. The oldest continuing Looney Tunes character
is Porky.
That's wild, Porky. Wow. So that's his thing. He's the OG.
Yeah, and he's not paired with anyone, right? Because all the others have a sort of like a rival of some kind, some yin to their yang that like, and he's just on his own.
Yeah,
right?
I think he's just kind of doing his own thing.
I think you can draw like a direct line from Porky Pig getting on the air to me being on TV.
Hey, buddy, what if in 2024 you got a little bit better every day? When you're learning new language with Babbel, that's exactly what you're doing. And if Babbel can help you start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks, imagine what you could do in a full year.
Be a better you in 2024 with Babbel, the science-backed language learning app that actually works. Don't pay hundreds of dollars for private tutors or waste hours on apps that don't really help you speak the language.
Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons are designed by over 150 language experts to help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel's designed by real people for real conversations.
Babbel's tips and tools are approachable, accessible, rooted in real-life situations, and delivered with conversation-based teaching, so you're ready to practice what you've learned in the real world. Mitch, Babbel's convenient courses have helped me learn real-life conversation skills in Spanish.
Wow.
It's so easy.
That's
to
great,
order food, ask for directions, and so on without having to consult an app.
That feels helpful, especially here in Los Angeles, where there's a large Spanish-speaking population.
It's a great point, Mitch. Studies from Yale, Michigan State University, and others continue to prove Babbel is better. One study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a full semester at college.
Wow, and way less money.
Say that again.
Babbel has over 10 million subscriptions sold. Plus, all of Babbel's 14 language courses are backed by their 20-day money-back guarantee.
Here's a special limited-time deal for our listeners. Right now, get 50% off a one-time payment for a lifetime Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners. At Babbel.com/Doughboys. Get 50% off at Babbel.com/Doughboys. Spelled Babbel.com/Doughboys. Rules and restrictions may apply. Let's talk about Goop Kitchen. So Goop was launched, the brand was launched in 2008 as a wellness newsletter from Gwyneth Paltrow. I think everyone knows Gwyneth's
It was a wellness newsletter.
That's what
first.
It started off, yeah. Okay. It was basically like, like a Substack, pre-Substack. It grew into this big company, selling all the stuff online. They moved headquarters from London to Santa Monica in the 2010s and really were like kind of marketing to the moneyed American wellness sort. Grew to about 100 employees by 2019. The infamous vagina candle, which I think maybe is what people know most associate with Goop, was released in January 2020. Doesn't that sound more recent than you think?
Yeah, that's
like
crazy.
Just before the pandemic, the vagina candle, and everyone was like, "Oh, look at this thing! How about that?" That was
I remember
like the big news story.
I bought like 30 of them for the pandemic. I stocked up. I was really nervous I would run out during the pandemic.
I came by your place when you had them all going, and we were both like, Yeah, she was making a little sound.
She snorted.
She's snoring.
Yeah, you had the vagina candles all lit up when I came by your place, and we were both like, "What's this strange new smell?" The chef of Goop is Kim Floresca of Per Se, which is a Thomas Keller New York City restaurant, very fancy white tablecloth joint that I've never eaten at. Anyone been to Per Se?
No.
Do you think I've been to Per Se?
You're a food guy.
I am a food guy, but where is it? New York?
And
In New York, yeah.
At a famous actor.
Yeah.
You could go to Per Se.
I could go to Per Se. Me and Porky at a table together.
Okay, so
bow tie.
Gwyneth has become a real. Wait, what?
I was just gonna say we're both dressed with just a bow tie and a jacket.
They're both smooth from the waist down. How do we? Gwyneth obviously a lightning rod for a various of reasons, a number of reasons. How do we feel about Gwyneth as a celebrity? I like her as an actor. I think like I've always enjoyed seeing her and stuff. I feel like
her
she's
as an actor. She makes one delicious candle. Pulling out strings.
Like you'd ever eat that. I'm pro Gwyneth. I mean, obviously, like all the MCU shit, I couldn't care less about. But like, I feel like she's.
Well, we were saying that she doesn't really care.
I like that about her, that she seems pretty
funny.
disconnected. That's fine.
Yeah.
But
It's also funny that her role in the MCU is like someone's Iron Man's assistant.
yeah,
Which I really like the whole. I always think that character is funny because it makes you ask questions about like the other superheroes and whether they have assistants.
Right,
and
right,
I think
right.
a lot about like who, like runs facilities at Professor Xavier's school for gifted children. Like someone has to do that work, right?
yeah. There's a janitorial crew.
Yeah.
Which is cool. If that would be cool to see a character, the mutant character who does all that stuff.
Well, you think it's a mutant.
And maybe it's not.
I feel like that's a waste of a mutant, right? To make them a janitor.
Unless it's like you have just side work as part of going to the school. Is like we also like kind of it's like a hostel or whatever. Like we all kind of like, clean up after
somebody's
ourselves.
got like a power that like allows them to mop the floors with the water they shoot from their hands or whatever.
Right.
That sucks. You get there and you're like, I'm gonna be the guy who clean. I have to be the guy who cleans up. If you're like a mopper or whatever.
Can I get some time in the danger room? But no, you gotta.
You're like Storm, and you have to like make wind a lot to sort of like.
Of course,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she maybe would get stuck on that duty. I feel like controlling rain and stuff like that. It would be someone with kind of a shittier power, which is a bummer. I feel like.
Yeah, or just like an amazing power, and it's just a waste of it. Like I can phase matter into a different dimension, but I'm using that to like clean gunk off a stovetop.
Yeah.
What could be saving Manhattan. But overall, I say like Gwyneth plays her character ends up being Rescue at a certain point, which is one of the Iron Men, I guess. But it's Pepper Potts is whatever. Like I don't, but I think like Talented Mr. Ripley. We talked about Seven on the Blank Check podcast. Some great performances, especially on that side of her career.
The Royal Tenenbaums. Let's not forget that. I like Gwyneth as an actor. I'm pro Gwyneth. I didn't realize, because we were talking about this during lunch, in the Headgum lunchroom. We were talking about how there's a Headgum lunchroom.
Yeah, we should start calling it that.
We were in the lunchroom and we were talking about Gwyneth, and we were saying like, oh, people are meaner to her. I think because of Goop, basically.
100%. I think that's a huge part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pro even Goop because I think my feeling about Gwyneth. And I this is like not a strongly held belief, and I could back off it at any minute. But I think like she's real honest at this point about who she is. I feel like she's a rich lunatic. And like she's so upfront about it, and I find it refreshing as opposed to like she has this like business that sells $700 like tote bags and $90 crystal sprays or whatever it is, and she's like 100% upfront, and she doesn't apologize, and she doesn't pretend that she's like a normal person. And then I think comparing that to like, Ryan Reynolds or something, who's out there like trying to convince us all that he's a man of the people and that he's just like a regular dude, or like Ellen DeGeneres or something who like lives in Montecito and has 75 horses, but is like I'm actually just like I'm like a normal person who understands about the lives and concerns of regular everyday Americans, and it's like
Yes.
it's bullshit, and I don't like being lied to, and Gwyneth's not lying to me.
That's a great point.
It's kind of an old school sort of celebrity. Yeah, the person I always think of is just like The Rock, which is just like I saw an Instagram ad the other day that was just like The Rock selling his own debit cards. Like, why do you need a debit card? What about you, like what you wanted to do with your career, what you wanted to do with your life led you to the point where you're like, I was thinking you're on like the Tonight Show talking about a debit card where your account like has the same ssort of interest as like a savings account. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, that's what you want to do? And it feels like Gwyneth, it feels genuine. It feels like she does, like, actually want to sell this shit.
She likes it, and I believe she uses these candles and eats this food, and I don't believe that Ryan Reynolds uses Mint Mobile.
Right.
Like, there's no fucking way. There's no way that's a good enough cell service for Ryan Reynolds.
Does Gwyneth Paltrow use her own candle? That's what just came to my mind. It would be a weird thing to be like, it smells nice in here. And she's like, it's my vagina candle. You're like, what the fuck?
Why? Of course she does. Like,
but that's like, isn't it weird that it's her? Isn't it based on her?
It'd be a weird power move, I think, if you lit that like in a meeting.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's me you're smelling. Like, that would be weird.
That's me you're smelling.
Yeah.
No one asked.
All that said,
I usually do go into meetings and announce that, by the way. That's me you're smelling.
that pro Gwyneth apologia aside, I do think there are two things worth noting. One is that she did support Rick Caruso for mayor. She did cut a campaign ad for him, and that guy is like a piece of shit. And that just comes from like
saying,
rich insulated liberal.
If LA was like the Americana, it would be a lot of fun.
Well, that's another thing, just talking about outdoor shopping centers, is a big reason for their popularity is because Americans don't have the opportunity to live in walkable cities. And so they drive somewhere and pay for parking to experience what it's like to like live in like Europe. Like, I can just walk around and go shopping. But that's its own thing.
When I was at South Shore Plaza, I forgot to say this. I went to Newberry Comics, which I'm sure that Casey and Emma are fans of Newberry Comics.
Newberry Comics,
which is like a cool... Look, if you want a Cartman shirt back in the day, that's where you went. Yeah. If you want a stuffed Cartman doll, you could get it there.
Right.
Hell, if you want a Cartman robe, this is the place to get it.
Let's say you wanted like
beach towel, Cartman beach towel.
Cartman beach towel. You know what you could get probably is a towel-y beach towel. I'm sure like they had.
I'm not interested in that. I want the Cartman one.
All right, you can get the Cartman one there as well.
All right, good.
What were you asking?
I was gonna say Cartman bobblehead, but whatever. It's
so
all
you
the
can
same.
get a Cartman
not
bobblehead.
Really heightening. It's on the same tier.
I went there. I returned a gift at the Apple store. I bought my mom something she didn't want it.
What didn't she want?
Cartman iPad.
I bought her like a speaker, and she didn't want the speaker, and so I brought
like a HomePod.
Yeah, HomePod. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I brought it back there.
Why didn't she like the speaker?
It's a really nice gift.
It's a nice gift.
Thoughtful.
Great son.
I bought her an iPhone. I didn't want to say it on the
That's
fucking
so nice.
podcast.
What a great son.
Yeah. She didn't want it. I returned it. She was like, this is way too expensive. Either? And I was like, you're hard to shop for. And this is one easy gift, and I'm done.
Does she have an iPhone?
Which makes me sound like a shitty
Yeah, that makes you sound worse.
I'm done.
Did she already have an iPhone? Was she in the Apple ecosystem?
It was too new. It was like only like 2.5 years old, and she was like, it's too new.
Oh, got it.
So I returned it. I walk into Newberry Comics. You know what the biggest thing, and I think this is like what all malls sell? Funko Pops.
Funko Pops are huge.
It was the store had like 3,000 Funko Pops.
They got Cartman there.
Yeah, there was Cartman, Towley. What else did I see? I think just those two.
Did we say Cartman?
I think we said Cartman.
Yeah, Funko Pops are huge.
Funko Pops are the biggest.
I think I read somewhere they had like plans for like a Funko theme park and stuff. Like there's a store in LA that is basically like has whole multi-story dioramas with giant Funkos that you can pose with. It's like a big Instagram thing, but I think they want to. It's great. It's crazy.
We should do Doughboys Funkos, I think.
Yeah.
That'd
be great.
I imagine because your head is bigger. Right. Don't they enlarge the head?
It's got to be a little bit bigger, a little disproportionate.
Yeah, I feel like it would not work with me, I feel like. Right? I feel like it would be like my head is already kind of...
They just make you to scale. You just look like you.
I'm the only Funko that says to scale. But the kids love Funkos.
Kids love Funko.
All malls are they're just selling Funkos.
I also kind of think probably the adult male Doughboys fan demographic likes Funko Pops. I think that's who they're selling more Funkos to than children.
Yeah.
So the other Gwyneth thing that I think is worth saying, and this is as someone who I've heard this. Yeah.
I just want to say one last thing. Cut out the middleman. Just open a Cartman shop.
People would go to a Cartman shop.
If there was a store that just sold all things Cartman,
you could at minimum do a pop-up that was all Cartman merch.
It would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have to, you get in there, you get what you want, you get out.
Yeah.
All right, anyways.
And then at the exit, there's a sign that says, "Screw you guys, I'm going home." And you'd be like, "Oh, I get to watch," and you get to pose by the sign. That'd be a lot of fun.
The Cartman store.
The Cartman store is a good idea.
Mitch almost walked out. That idea was so upset. You get how good an idea it is.
You get an Eric Cart when you go in, an Eric Cartman, and it's got Cartman on it.
Oh, I don't understand. I would genuinely shop there.
Yeah.
And not just once a year, probably a couple times.
You want to drive the Go Cartman around the track? Go for it.
The store is getting much bigger than maybe I initially thought.
The other Gwyneth thing that I think is worth saying, and it's pertinent to our meal, which is that for someone who is from what I've read, I don't know how much of this is accurate, but for someone who doesn't like plastic to touch her food, that everything comes in single-use plastic.
There is so much plastic use.
So much plastic waste for a place that should be, and this is again kind of the rich liberal, socially liberal but supports Rick Caruso sort of demographic where there's some personal wastefulness. It's having this having great having visibly whatever pro-inclusive politics, but then having this massive lawn and this pool that's wasting all of this water. We see this happening from people who are super duper rich, and it's the kind of thing of just have this stuff come in cardboard. You know what I mean? Have some sort of a concept of your ecological footprint if this is going to be your brand.
Give me that plastic. Shiny, clear, smooth. I love it. I got food yesterday. I got food last night. We ate it today.
Yeah, we had a meal today in the Headgum lunchroom. And also Natalie and I got it delivered on Friday. So I've had 2 meals.
I'm gonna say 2 things. One, you texted me, not to get ahead of ourselves here, but he texted me Friday and said, "Is Goop good?" And he was showing a picture of which I already was like, "What the fuck what do you mean is Goop good?" And then I brought it up to a couple people. I said to Fran Gillespie, who was a writer on Killing It, very funny. I was like, "Luke's coming on the show tomorrow. We're doing Goop." And she goes, "Oh my God, so good." And I was like, "What the hell? Is Goop good?" And then I mentioned to a couple other people and they were like, "Oh, I hear it's good." People are, the reviews for Goop are pretty high.
This is the thing. And Natalie and I both went in with a bit of skepticism, and it's a place you don't want to like. You don't want to like, and also we had so many bad experiences with celebrity ghost kitchens over the years. They're also just craven cash grabs.
We don't like ghost kitchens.
Yeah,
is this like a specific does this run out of another restaurant, or is this a specific takeout center?
From what we can tell, it operates out of places there's a ghost kitchen collective called Colony Cooks.
Okay.
That's one of them. That's the one in Santa Monica. And
I'm a little more open to them if it is a place that is this is multiple ghost kitchens.
Right, but that's what it is. It's an industrial kitchen that just exists to service ghost kitchens, and it's just for DoorDash to pick it up. That's its whole function. There's no actual place. I don't think you can go and dine in at a Goop Kitchen. Natalie investigated this place a little bit, and I believe this particular ghost kitchen where we got our food from is also services Benito's Tacos, which is at the complete opposite end of the spectrum. That's taquitos is their big thing there. So just the idea that the same space is preparing both this high-end, cuisine for Brentwood yoga moms and then this working class Mexican food. It's just sort of I don't know how these actually work, if they have different staffs or if it's one guy is preparing both things at the same time. In any event, that's the weird world we live in. But yes, Natalie and I both went with a little bit of skepticism, and we both had, and I think I articulated how we felt in the actual thing I texted you, which is, I regret to inform you that Goop Kitchen is fucking good. We kind of wanted to hate it, and then we were like, fuck, it's maybe awesome. It's maybe delicious.
I didn't try it until last night.
Yeah.
When I got the pepperoni Potts pizza, which is
great menu item name, honestly. Hall of Fame menu
You and I
item
wanted to try it. I'll say this. maybe the worst thing I had from Goop, and I don't even think it was that bad.
Yeah.
I would say it was like a 3 or a 3.5 out of 5 or something. But it was a little bit greasy, like the dough tasted greasy. It was a pepperoni pizza, but the dough was a little greasy. But still, I was like, this is still like high quality. But I also got vodka with no vodka, a penne vodka dish, which came in an extra plastic container. Like it was just like, it was sitting in a plastic container, which is like, this is your thing about just wasteful plastic.
Yeah.
It was like, why is there an extra, why is like what would be the box that holds it plastic? It didn't make any sense. But that was really good. Yeah. I was shocked that it was as good as it was. And then today, I guess we can start talking about it.
Let's take a step back because I want to start with Luke with why you want to talk about this place. I believe this is a place you pitched.
Yeah, only because we had on Killing It this last season, we were in person and we would get lunch there, and ordering lunch in these writers' rooms is a nightmare, and everyone is opinionated and everyone's miserable. And Goop is the only place I think everyone, the entire staff was happy to get. Everyone felt like there was stuff there. You could be healthy, but also what didn't feel oppressively healthy. Like it's flavorful, and we ordered it so much. And I'm fully willing to say it's my favorite, like, work lunch option in Los Angeles.
I will also say, because you're putting in the same category as places like the other places that would be in this pool of options for a takeout lunch in Los Angeles if you work in any sort of office job, or places like Sweet Green or Mendocino Farms.
Yeah,
Tender Greens.
Yeah.
It's honestly...
Which now is kind of Tender Greens is more on its way out a little bit, I guess.
It's maybe declining a little bit. I've had some good experiences at Tender Greens in recent years.
I like Tender Greens.
But I think they righted the ship a little bit. The thing is, it's not more expensive than these places, which is, I was expecting this place to have a huge premium in the same way that, like, whatever you're ordering some crystal or some oil from Goop online, it's going to have this gigantic markup. It's not. The salads are about the same amount.
Going with the plastic.
Exactly.
They're not taking your advice and making it,
Well, Sweet Green does cardboard. Yeah. It's achievable.
It's true. Well, they should, but I mean, the penny, it was a penne no vodka, I believe is what it was called. Penne no vodka. And then it came with chili flakes, grated Parmesan, and then a pepperoni Potts pizza. Look, I did give a decent tip, but guess how much that all came to with the tip?
I'm going to guess $90.
$80.
Wow.
I gave a good tip still. But it was fun. It was like overall $60.
Yeah. No, like I was expecting this, I'm going to spend $300 at this place. And it's in the same sort of range.
Looking at the menu that it has the feeling, sometimes all those other places feel like there's only 15 ingredients and everything is just reconfiguring the same 15 ingredients. And this is like a whole wide variety of like tastes and flavor profiles.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm all in on Goop.
Go on, Mitch.
The ingredients, today, my experience today, and we'll get into what we got, of course, but I was like, oh, these are like quality ingredients. It like reminds me of when I first went, the first time I went to Tender Greens, and I was like, oh, this is like good chicken, and this is like the produce is good, and that's the same thing I get from Goop, which is surprising because it is a ghost kitchen. You'd think it's going to be way shittier than it is, and it's very much like nice restaurant quality food.
So there's 3 concepts under the Goop Kitchen umbrella, and you can order from all 3 places in the same order. The thing is that 2 of them are only open for dinner hours.
Is that Goop Super Fina?
Yes, there's Goop Kitchen, which is what we got for lunch today in the Headgum lunchroom. There is Goop Rotisserie, and then there's also Goop Super Fina. And I don't know what that's a portmanteau of.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea.
Because Cucina, I know.
Yeah.
But I don't. What's the F from? Like if it was Super China, I'd be like, okay, I get it. But Super Fina, where's the F coming from?
Is that like the Sugar Fina, like the candy place?
Sugar Fina? Is that affiliated with her?
I don't think so, but it's like a candy, like a custom candy place, or like you can order candy gift baskets and stuff. That's what it reminds me of every time I hear it.
She's doing a pun on a different brand, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
that's like
I don't
pizza
get the
and
divisions at all. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But it is funny that lunch, just from my time at The Simpsons, I've never worked in a real professional writer's room, which is crazy to me. I think I got a lot of great ideas.
It's not true. You're memory holding one show that you worked on.
I did. I'm sorry. I did Jonah Ray.
And you worked on, and I know a pilot.
Birthday Boys. I worked on.
And then, of course, Birthday Boys.
Yeah, wait, what was the pilot?
Didn't you write for the Comedy Bang Bang pilot?
Oh, yeah, I did write for the Comedy Bang Bang pilot.
All right. So that's three jobs.
They never got staffed on the old show.
Yeah, they wanted somebody else for that chair for some reason.
But it is funny that, and I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about this. Also, it's your show and you're a baby, but at The Simpsons, I would be like, and I had a different job there, but I'd be like, ugh, I can't wait for lunch. It's the happiest time of the day for me. Which is funny because it's like you're living a dream in some ways, but it is that sort of thing of like lunch is so important in rooms or in I guess just that for anyone it's
anything. Look, we are very lucky to have this show. It feels like a job sometimes. Anytime you're doing something that it's scheduled and it's your profession, there are going to be times when you want like a break. And yes, it's like, hey, working in Hollywood, that's the dream factory. It's what everyone, like a lot of people aspire to do. But even when you're in that position, at a certain point, it feels like work. Yeah. So I get it.
Yeah. And so. Getting the right restaurant, I so many times, friend of the show, Matt Selman would always be like, go here, and he would tell me places to go all the time. But if you get it wrong, it's a disaster. So having a place that is consistent and that everyone likes is huge.
Well, we used to have, when I worked on Brooklyn Nine-Nine forever, and I think you guys talked about it with Dan Gore when you had him on the show. We had this like incredibly elaborate lunch ordering system that I'm very proud of. Honestly, much more than anything else I've ever achieved. But the reason you did it is not because, like, partly I just wanted to waste time and I didn't feel like working, and we could kill easily an hour in the morning going through various games to figure out who was going to pick lunch. But people don't like picking lunch because it's so much the reason we did it is because, like, when you said, all right, we're just going to go around a circle and everyone gets to decide what's for lunch for that day, the pressure of it, because when you select something other people don't want, they get so mad at you. Yeah. And everyone's so grumpy, and then you're responsible. And it ruins everyone's day. And any like rational person is like, I don't want that pressure. So we had to devise these like crazy games to sort of make it not, to make it not so awful on everybody.
Right.
But Goop, just say Goop Kitchen, everyone was like, great, we'll do it. Occasionally we'd have it too much, but I really feel like there was like full buy-in from a full staff that in a way that
I never would make everyone happy at The Simpsons. There would always be someone who was mad at me.
But that also makes people happy to be unhappy.
Of course,
you can't fix people.
The plus side is that I think I could beat all of them up, and I'm not strong really. But the Simpsons staff, I think, particularly is not. Was particularly. Oh, there she goes again. It sounds like I'm making.
We're
noises.
not hearing it on the mic.
I'm not sure the mic is picking it up.
It's anything.
Yeah.
now you're in me thinks the lady does protest too much.
She's snoring.
I mean, how many times
snort.
can you shit your pants in one recording though?
Let's talk about our meal today. Well, actually, I'll step back a second because you talked about your meal. I'm just gonna say what we got on for dinner real quick. We got a greener on the other side soup, which is a cold soup that Natalie had. We got what they call, all caps, the best arugula salad. It's pretty good arugula salad. Had watermelon radishes in it. Real treat.
But not the best?
I thought it was good. Would I call it the best arugula salad I've ever had? I don't know if I have a ready inventory of all the arugula salads I've ever eaten, but it's certainly a notable one.
Cal Packus likes that green soup, he told me too.
Yeah, the green soup, I didn't actually have any, but it looked good. The classic-ish Cobb, which I got without bacon, and what's nice about this one has like Fresno chilies in it, which I hadn't experienced in the Cobb salad, and it's got like a really well done, hard-boiled egg, however they do it. Those ones that have the really yellow yolk. I'm always impressed by that technique.
Yeah, especially for delivery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then also the pizza Bianca, which we got from the Superfina side, and that one is a white pizza that has mozzarella, again, more Fresno chilies. They love those Fresno chilies there, and maybe it's a different kind of chili in the salad. This one was it's gluten free as well, which I'm not sure if the pepperoni Potts pizza is gluten free, but
I'd be pissed if it was.
For a gluten free pizza,
you're mad.
Crispy and not gummy. A lot of times those gluten-free crusts can have a weird sort of chew to them, and that was not the case with this one. I thought it was really well executed.
Did the pizza come in cardboard?
Pizza did come in cardboard. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna view store here and make sure that. But
how big is a pizza? I've never had the
pretty
super
decently big. It's like
and it's a square. It was like a decent sized square pizza with 9 slices. Yeah, I'd say it was comparable to what you'd get from a chain.
Are they all gluten free?
I think they are all GF.
Oh my god, I'm fucking livid.
You didn't even know
But
this.
you liked it.
Yeah, you liked it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm mad now. I didn't know it was gluten free. Well, anyways, I can't find
the pepperoni pots one is gluten free. Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I really feel like this should be like great, right? You should be like thrilled that you didn't. This is like a triumph for them and for you.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna get myself some glutens today and eat them. I'm pissed off. I missed them last night. I do wonder if that was the taste I was tasting, because I was like, something is off here. But it was decent. I am surprised that was a gluten-free
I
pizza.
think usually gluten-free stuff doesn't taste different as much as the textures are hard to.
Yeah,
the textures feel off.
The texture
sometimes.
was pretty decent.
That's what we were impressed by. The texture was good. It was nice and crispy again for something that's delivered. That's impressive in its own right, but also that it was again didn't have that gummy sort of character to it. Yeah, I really enjoyed that pizza. I thought it was a genuine treat. Also, great sauces. Got a bunch of sauces on the side. What a wonderful sauce game. A great ranch there. A lot of dill in that ranch.
I didn't have the ranch.
Great, like a thick, hearty ranch.
What did the ranch come with?
We just got it on the side.
Okay, you just got it as a side.
Yeah.
You just were dipping pizza into it? What were you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah. All right.
Was that crazy?
No, it's not crazy. It's very normal.
I just wasn't sure if I wanted to know if they offered that as an option or if that's a fun little menu hack.
Yeah, no, there's just a bunch of different. I mean, we just look. We'll go a little sauce crazy. They also have their super secret pizza seasoning, which we also got, which was delightful. But yeah, they have a bunch of different sauces, and all of them were hitting.
What's the pizza seasoning? What?
Well, it's super secret is the thing, but it is like
garlic salt kind of.
It is kind of garlic salty. It has like a little bit of just a touch of heat to it. It felt like it had some rosemary in there, some Parmesan. It was good.
This is you and Natalie on Friday night?
Yeah.
You could have invited me over.
Hey, come over to our house and have break bread with us?
I've never been there. I'd break bread at your house.
You wouldn't make the haul over there.
I would.
You absolutely would not do
that. If you invited me to come to your house, I'd go.
Hey, me and Natalie are going to order from Goop. Do you want to come to my place and share it with us?
That sounds like a fun night. The three of us?
I don't think you would do it.
I
don't believe you.
Watch a movie?
It would be a blast. I'd bring a sleeping bag. The three of us. It would be fun.
We'll think about it.
I've only seen your house from the outside. You know that?
Yeah, that's fine. That's all you need to see.
Wait, is that true?
That is 100%.
Why do you need to go in there?
I want to see what's going on in there.
We're just living there.
What the fuck's going on in there? I want to know what the fuck's happening there.
Two people are living their lives. That's what's going on in there.
I don't like it.
The black box, as far as you're concerned.
From the outside, it feels like Mitch has been far more open with you than you're being with him, opening up his home.
That's true.
You constantly.
That's true.
You've met Wally and Irma. You've hung out with them before.
You've met Natalie.
I'm not comparing Natalie to Wally and Irma.
Okay, well,
I don't take Wally and Irma to me to events. I think I should come over sometime.
If you really want, we can.
We'll
maybe
make contact. We'll make content out of it.
No, we don't need to. What are you going to?
Yeah, that's what I want. If you really want to come over, I'll invite you. Fuck you. I don't want to come over.
Why do you need to come over?
I want to see what's going on in there. I want to see what your life is like.
You want to see what's going on in there?
Yeah.
You see me on the Zoom chat. You've seen into my home. You know what my home office looks like.
I want to go into your jack off room.
Again, you've seen into my office from the Zoom chat. No, I don't have a jack shack at
That's your X-Men power.
Cyclops has to clean up after me. Not happy about it. No, I don't. This is my whole thing. Okay, we heard that one.
You heard that one.
Demi's riled up.
The show's putting her more and more to sleep.
That usually does mean she's very sleepy.
I think it's okay to be like, hey, that's my private space where I live, and if we want to hang out, we can go to a restaurant.
Get in there and muck around a little bit.
You need to get in there. You didn't like people going into your room.
I don't give a shit.
I've seen you freak out when people have gone into your bedroom.
Just don't turn on a black light. You're fine. You can go in there all you want. Get in there. You can go in there.
Mitch, I haven't been to your house yet.
That's true. Emma, you're welcome over anytime you'd like.
Wow.
Normal.
What
That's normal.
is this true of all your friends, Weiger?
Are
there other people who have been inside your house?
My parents have been inside our apartment, and that's it. I don't think we had any other guests the time.
Natalie never has a play date for you or anything like that?
No, she's like me. A play date.
Anyway, all right, sorry. I don't have to come to your house ever. I don't care.
I don't know. We're private. We like having our own space.
I know you are. I know you are. I just want to see what's going on in there. That's all.
There's nothing. It's a place where people live and make and prepare food and bathe.
Yeah, okay, you're winning me over. It's a normal place where we prepare food. Oh, okay. Sounds pretty normal.
Watch TV. Play video games. I don't know. We do stuff there. It's fine.
I just want to see what your home life is like. That's all. You're my friend. That's all. I just want to see.
So we do what people do.
I'm
we
not
going to
force it. I'm not forcing it. I don't care.
It feels like you're forcing it.
It's boring.
You're making a big public show out of it.
I guarantee you it's boring.
I know it is
I know
boring.
it is. I know. So I'm sorry. I don't have to come over.
I don't see why it's a big deal.
It's not a big deal. I don't have to come over. We don't have to fight about it.
Then you don't have to come over.
Do you remember there was that woman who wrote for like Grey's Anatomy or whatever who was lying about having like various cancers and whatever.
Right.
She had friends who would drop her off like outside the Mayo Clinic or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she'd walk in towards the entrance and then they'd drive off and then she'd turn a corner and not go and get cancer treatment.
Yeah.
It feels like it's possible that there's something like that going on.
Yeah, right. I'd walk into the Mayo Clinic.
Yeah, the actual Mayo Clinic.
Yeah. No.
Like mayonnaise clinic is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we were saying the same thing.
All right.
No, it's just I'm not hiding anything. What do I get to hide there?
All right, fine. You're not hiding anything.
Yeah.
All right.
Seems crazy that you wouldn't just allow your friend and coworker to.
That is a good point.
It's a whole to-do. Then you got to come over. What are we going to do? We're going to sit down? What are we going to do?
I've only seen outside your house once, too.
Yeah.
I picked you up for AEW. Which was
that's
a blast.
right. We had a lovely time.
That was
very nice of you to give me a
Well,
ride.
you're still my friend. I don't need to see inside your house.
Right, great.
Don't want to find anything in there that I wouldn't want to see anyways. It's fine. It's like going through my dad's underwear drawer. I wouldn't want to do that either. You know what's funny? Earlier you said the mayor's titties. This just makes me sound dumb. And I was like, I wanted to say something about titties, and I can't remember what it was. But is that a dumb guy? Am I a dumb man for thinking that?
I think maybe like an hour later circling back to it is maybe not the best judgment. I don't know if that makes you a dumb guy.
I had something important to say. But
important? You had something important to say?
I had something to say about titties, and I forgot what they are.
Was it going to be in the New Orleans accent?
Maybe it was in the New Orleans accent. All right, anyway.
Okay.
Moving on.
So we had a lovely time. We had a nice meal. Today we ate in the Headgum lunchroom, and I ordered a nosh box with hummus to share, which is basically just vegetables and hummus, but it was a nice selection. I got the Goop teriyaki bowl with chicken thigh. That is a chicken and umami rice blend. And sesame marinated kale, avocado, which was actually nice. You got like a half avocado in there. Some furikake, some garlic broccoli, some pickled ginger, which I appreciated, and a little bit of teriyaki sauce. Just a very thin sort of kiddie pool's worth of teriyaki sauce for dipping, but not overly sweet. I don't know if I got this. I was thinking of the way you framed it, because we talked before the record of like, if this is just my work lunch, which functionally it is. This is like a work day, so to speak, for me. And this was my lunch I had before we went in here, and I was like, this is a great work lunch. I'm very satisfied by this. This has a bunch of different components that are all working together. It feels nutritious and it's filling and it's flavorful.
I didn't love you saying a kitty-sized pool thing of sauce. It made me uncomfortable.
It was just like a shallow little, what I'm talking about.
No, I get it.
You're like ankle deep in there.
Yeah, I didn't like it in general, but it was a very my meal, which I forgot even what mine was called. I think that we got a similar.
I have the menu up here. If you want to describe it, I can maybe figure it out.
You got the Goop teriyaki bowl, is that
yes,
what you got? Yeah. And I got some sort of I'll figure out what it was.
There's the Hollywood bowl.
I got the bowl with chicken.
That is what I got.
Yeah, this is a half salad, half rice bowl.
It was healthy. I'll say that. It was
chickpeas, kale, feta. chicken or salmon, quinoa and brown rice blend, broccoli, green beans, and a 7-minute egg. That's that egg I was talking about.
And my egg was very well done.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. This is $20.39, which is
that one's pricey.
Which is and I got the herby whatever it is, the herby aioli, which was recommended.
It's interesting because this could be location dependent because the one I'm looking at says it's $14.95.
But is that more when you add a protein?
Yeah, that it might have been a thing. There might have been an upgrade there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Does it not come with chicken?
It says it comes with salmon or chicken by default, but I don't know if it's priced at the vegetarian level.
I like those pickled onions that are on there. I
love a pickled onion.
Yeah, I had some sort of salmon miso bowl that had pickled jalapenos.
Winter salmon bowl, I think.
No, it was miso something.
Oh, okay. There's a different one.
It's a miso salmon plate.
Miso salmon salad.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah, red miso glaze, and then it has some Japanese purple sweet potatoes.
Oh, great.
And then another 7-minute egg, avocado, and furikake snow peas, watermelon radish.
But they had a little pickled jalapeno in there. The snow peas are great. They're split. There's some individual peas. There's some casings. Really, I loved it.
I think this place is hitting.
Yeah,
it is. It was like a healthy. I don't know if I was thrilled. It was good that I was eating a healthy lunch. I'll tell you what, the star of the show for me. I don't know what to say for this because it's the bite of the night or the this is a slurp. It was a slurp. It was a soup. And you got the same soup.
Yeah, the Japanese sweet potato soup.
I thought that was pretty great.
Great. It's really good.
It was really well done, the sweet potato soup.
You're the Spoon Man. It could be like the Spoon Man's Lovin' Spoonful or something like that.
That's a longer tell than I ever expected. I love it. It's the Spoon Man's Lovin' Spoonful.
Yeah.
It goes to that sweet potato soup. It was great.
Yeah,
there was
that soup
Brussels
looked good.
sprouts floating in it. I never thought that and then there were dried Brussels sprout, right?
For a little textural, crunch on top, but it came in its own separate container again.
Yeah, another
waste,
plastic,
which again makes me feel great to be able it's a power trip to be able to waste so much, Fuck you to the earth,
But that's that's the other thing is from a consumer perspective, it's unavoidable. Shop at a grocery store and totally avoid plastic waste. It's just impossible.
No, but they obviously do. Every salad dressing comes in its own own little cup separately. There's often every dish seems like it has some sort of separate to keep a crunchy component, fresh and crunchy. It's comes in its own separate serving container. There is an abnormal amount of waste at Goop Kitchen, but again, all in service of making the meal better.
Yeah, I will say that along those lines, I got the matcha chia pudding, which is. It's not on their dessert menu, although I think it is technically a dessert. It's up there with the apps, but it is meant more of a sweet treat.
We took a little spoonful of Spoon Man's loving spoonful of it.
I think I like matcha more than you,
Spoon
Mitch.
Man's loving spoonfuls, though?
two Spoon Man's loving spoonfuls.
One day.
It's you know what? Probably
I thought it was more of an award.
It will never be used again, so it doesn't matter.
This is coconut yogurt, chia seeds, matcha, and coconut milk, and then it came with dates and crunchy rice and pumpkin seeds, which you could mix in there. It was kind of a nice green paste that was pretty flavorful. Not overly sweet, which I appreciate, but also if you're talking if this is my dessert, it's maybe a little bit disappointing.
Speaking of,
which
I'm sure Emma's thrilled that I'm holding a chocolate brownie above her dog. I'll be very.
She will not care one bit.
This is another piece of dessert.
Yes.
Is it a sea salt brownie? Chocolate brownie? But
I believe that's what it is. I'll get the
I'm going to share it with the both of you.
Mitch loses his shit. Is it gluten-free, though?
It's a dark chocolate sea salt brownie.
Thank you, Emma. Do you see a GF tag?
I don't, because I'm reading this from Mitch's text in the group chat.
It is gluten-free. It is made with almond flour.
Motherfucker.
I'm going to take a little bite of this.
You know what?
Casey, Emma, you want any of this?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'll take a bite. Sure.
Oh, no. Why, Casey?
It's not bad, I tell you.
Yeah, it's got some salt.
Salt got a little bit of there's chocolate chunks in it. What do you guys think?
Very good.
Snack.
I would think there's gluten in there.
Yeah.
I would think there's gluten in there too.
Oh.
I do find that gluten-free desserts, like chocolate desserts, like gluten-free cupcakes or like gluten-free brownies, tend to be so like ooey gooey chocolatey.
Yes.
And I kind of love that.
Yeah. No, it was good.
I want to make it clear that my joke was that I wanted more of the brownie. Whatever. Who gives a
There's
shit?
a little piece
We all
left.
got
You
it.
want it?
Yeah. All right. It's fine.
I
People-
actually thought the joke was that you just didn't want them to have anything.
I mean,
nice.
that also too was a part of it. But then people online, or whatever. I don't care about online anymore. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
It's come up a lot.
You can't. I just been watching Ricky Gervais and I watched Chappelle's newest special. And you should be able to say what you want to say. You know what I mean? Anyways, the brownie was that was a decent for a gluten-free brownie. That was delicious. I think with chocolate you can, it's usually a little bit better. But
If you're ordering from this healthy-ish place and it's for a work lunch, but you're like, I want to get myself a treat, that one fits the treat slot, I think, better than the matcha pudding.
yeah.
Do you guys think that Goop could survive? How much of an LA thing is it? Like, do you think that this is obviously you could be in other big cities, but like, do you think that you could have a Goop Kitchen in, a Midwestern city?
Well, there are 5 of them in the greater LA area, although one of them is down in Orange County, so that's a little bit, removed. It's still in a very
busiest one is right.
in Costa Mesa. It would still be a very moneyed location. Not that all of LA is rich, but those are the neighborhoods it's servicing. I think it could do okay in.
It was 7 miles away from me. It was in Beverly Hills. That was the closest one I found.
Yeah, I think it could do okay in I think it would do okay in New York, and I think that you could find there are some pockets where there are like people with like a lot of money, like Phoenix or something. They just like a lot of. I think there are a lot of people with like disposable income where I think this place could do okay.
Sweet greens are everywhere now, right?
Sweet greens are everywhere.
When I ordered sweet green in Boston, my mom and sister had never had it, and then we got it from it was from like Ink Spot. It was like you know what I mean, like the equivalent of Derby, one of those fancy little like mall towns or whatever.
But we've never seen a place like really scale up nationally and persist on a ghost kitchen only basis. I think they would have to have some physical locations in order to stick around or in order to have like a national footprint.
Here's where I think they had a big miss. Goop soup. Why not have Goop soup?
Yeah, they
like
have
the title
soups, but they don't call it Goop soup.
So
You're
they
right.
should have one that says Goop soup.
That's a great point. I am not disagreeing with you.
I feel like it's beneath them. I mean, again, but then they also had like pepper
Pots.
Right, if you're having pepperoni pots.
Pepperoni pots.
If you're having pepperoni pots,
Yeah,
you're
I
not
may as
above
well-
Goop soup.
Yeah.
Goop soup should be, I think Goop soup should be one of the, it should be available.
Just call the section of the menu Goop soup.
There we go.
Like, here are Goop soup. Not everyone needs to be called a Goop soup.
Which brings me to another thing. I don't know if I like the name Goop.
I don't love the name Goop,
I
but
like-
on it is fitting for food.
Sure.
Because you're eating, like what a lot of food is Goop.
But why is it called Goop? Why is the company called
Those are
Is it
like
an acronym?
No, I think it's like facial, beauty products are like Goops more. I think
Okay.
it doesn't seem as negative as in a beauty context as it does in a food context.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
Where it seems kind of clotted.
Yeah.
According to I'm just reading this from Wikipedia. According to Paltrow, the company's name came from Peter Arnell telling her that successful internet companies have double O's in their name. So she was like, Google, how about Goop?
Can we think of another example? Can we think of another example besides Google?
Yahoo? Yahoo and Google.
That's
Is there a
also,
third?
it started in 2020 and Yahoo and Google.
2008.
Yeah. And
2008.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yahoo still is.
So so she took a double O and inserted it between G and P for Gwyneth Paltrow. So that's the more calculated side of this, alternative medicine,
Wow.
institution. I don't love the name, but I don't hate it in the context of a kitchen.
This has changed a lot for me. I don't even know how I feel about Gwyneth Paltrow anymore. I don't know if this is, I feel like this is bad. It makes me feel like the whole thing is dumber than I even thought it was. I mean, never liked the name.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting. All right.
It's just another of the things that women in tech have to face is skepticism from people like
God
you.
damn it.
Let's get to our final
The
thoughts.
name is good.
On Goop Kitchen. So, Luke, this is how this will work. We'll each go around, give our closing arguments, if you will, on Goop Kitchen, and then end that by giving it a score from 0 to 5 forks. You are our guest. To my left, we will begin with you.
I mean, I hate to I really think it's great. And I think it's not only great, but it's like good enough to overcome all the skepticism going in.
Yeah.
Which I think everyone naturally has. And so I'm tempted to say 5 forks, but that seems crazy because it's also like, it's Goop Kitchen and it doesn't have physical locations. I think I'll give it 4.5 forks.
4.5 forks, very good score.
That's a great score. We loved the idea of doing this place because it was
great pitch.
A great restaurant choice. I went into it. I was very suspicious of Goop. I didn't think I was going to like it. It's undeniable that the food quality is good. I mean, it's crazy that the food is as good as it is, and I can't believe the pasta is probably gluten-free too, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Fuck. That's crazy. I think that, yeah, if you're doing a work lunch, it would be great. If you're in a writer's room, you couldn't complain too much. It is a little bit expensive. I do think that it is. I mean, you're right that it's like whatever sweet green. You're getting a $20 salad too, so it's not like it's that.
I'm not saying it's cheap. I'm not even saying it's affordable. What I'm saying is it's basically at price parity with other places.
Sure.
In the same category.
I don't want to say I was blown away, but I feel like I was nearly blown away by what it was, I guess. And I don't like it. I don't want to like it, I guess, is more of my issue, is that I don't want to like Goop
Women
Kitchen.
in tech.
I love women in tech. Lara Croft. Princess Peach. But I gotta give her credit for the bottom line is the food is good, then it's good. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, you can hate a place, but I think I can't go below 4 forks. I think I have to say 4 forks, which is crazy. I don't like ghost kitchens either, and then like it's you know, it is at least like at a dedicated ghost kitchen. It's not working out of a restaurant. I don't like ghost kitchens taking over delivery and stuff like that. It's you know, Pasquale's Kitchen is like, it is just Chuck E. Cheese. It's
right.
Weird shit like that. But I don't know. It seems craven, right? Like isn't it like, it must be bad in some way, Goop Kitchen.
The optics of it are, you know, it leads someone to approach this with some healthy skepticism. I think that was at least you and I going in, and I'm not sure, Luke, of your initial visits, if you were similarly like, what was this place?
Yeah, well, how did Goop come up as a place to order from?
I think somebody on staff had it and was like, we should do it, and we were all like rolling our eyes, and then it's this exact thing, and then you're like, oh shit, this is good, and there were other things on the menu that we would have liked to have gotten, and then you just get it 3 days out of 5, you know.
Yeah.
How did Susser feel about it?
Susser even fine with it, you know?
Wow. Because you're thinking this guy wants a meatball sub every day if he could.
I will say,
it's true.
In that context, Susser very agreeable. I can't think of one time I felt like he complained about the food.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He is like what a delightful man.
Okay. We know very different Sussers.
But was this a situation, because I've been in rooms with both, was this a situation where lunch was paid for by production?
Yes.
So that's why he was he's getting free food every day. That was the issue.
But that doesn't stop. A lot of people still complain.
100% no. Yeah.
It's like, it's the most entitled, crazy.
Oh, for sure.
We should have lost the strike. It was an awful group of people.
Look, this place has some strikes against it. Ghost Kitchen, celebrity's name attached, all the sort of, you know, bullshit wellness that I thought was going to be a bigger presence of this menu. We didn't talk about it. It's not like, not everything has like with omega B proteins and, you know, antioxidants. It's not like a bunch of these ingredients. These are just sort of like, you know, normal things that would be in a dish without a bunch of accoutrements ladled onto them. I think So approaching this place, as I've said multiple times, thinking it's going to suck and being pleasantly surprised by how good it is. If this place was called just like, hey, Fresh Kitchen, like, hey, have you guys had Fresh Kitchen? Let's order from Fresh Kitchen today, and I got this, I'd kind of be over the moon. I'm pretty happy with it. That said, it has a ceiling, which is kind of like work lunch. Like, we got it for dinner and it was good. We enjoyed it, but it's like, is this going to be a fun dinner that we're going to get just like on it when we're at home on a Friday night with no guests? I don't know if that's going to be a thing that that will be a regular go-to, but it would be a thing we would maybe get like, once in a while. So I think in terms of like, hey, this is a place that fits the healthy-ish work lunch niche, I think we got to call the Golden Plate Club
Jesus.
the Golden Plate Club for today, because I give it 4 forks for Goop Kitchen. 2 O's.
You're saying Golden, like
Golden Plate Club.
I thought you were saying I thought you were gonna say like the Goopton Plate.
Could also say the Goopton Plate Club.
Yeah.
The Goopton Plate Club. 4 forks. Congratulations to Gwyneth Paltrow and the whole team over there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I was surprised. I'm shocked.
It does make me think that the Spoon Man has 2 O's next to each other. Very good branding.
Wow.
That is a great point.
Yeah.
And we, like Google and Yahoo, the Spoon Man is kind of a big business, a big deal. Are you accusing me of using the same business plan as Gwyneth Paltrow?
I'm literally just impressed with the branding. I think it's no surprise, as you said, that it's taken off so much.
Fucking Burger Boy, nice fucking name.
Didn't you come up with that?
Whatever.
I was ready to one fork this motherfucker coming in. I was like, I got Gwyneth Paltrow's pop-up Goop Kitchen. I'm gonna fucking one fork this piece of shit.
I can't believe it.
I had a great meal. 2 great meals.
I know, the food is good.
It's good. It's fucking good.
The food is good. I mean, it is specifically
it's a feeling
healthy.
of, God damn it, it's awesome. Fuck.
I think if it was 3 days a week, like if I was getting it, I'd be like, ugh, fucking Goop again.
Yeah.
I maybe would get a little bit.
But that's every restaurant, right?
Yeah,
That's like...
And also, I would be happy that I'm getting like a healthy lunch that actually tastes decent. So, and like, that's what you do. Like, secretly, you're like, oh, that's why I came around on Sweetgreen. I figure out what to order, and I'm like, this is healthy enough, and I can eat it every day if I need to, and I don't care.
I think there's a lot of variety on the menu. I think the portions are a good size. It doesn't feel, while being expensive, it doesn't feel like really small. Like, I think you get a good like amount of, you just get a good amount of food, and the salads are pretty filling. I really and I wonder if they could open take their pizza concept and make a brick and mortar restaurant out of it.
They could definitely have a brick and mortar in Beverly Hills, because that would have both the rich yoga moms there, and then like the rich old people, and then also tourists would go. Like, they could absolutely sustain it in that neighborhood.
You know what they should do?
Yeah.
The 7 head of lettuce or something. It's just more than just the pepperoni pots. Like,
that is fun.
Like, her head's in the box. At
Or
the end
or
of
just
7.
like, what's in the box?
Yeah.
Like, call
there we go.
That's
much better than the 7 head of lettuce.
No,
I
that's
guess.
also good. That should also be in
the
there.
spoiler.
Yeah, it's a bit of a spoiler.
Bit of a spoiler.
Nice.
What's in the box? And that's great.
And then it's a head of lettuce.
Yeah, that's good. Inspired by 7, I could say that's fun. If they're gonna do pepperoni pots, they should dive into some other stuff.
Totally agree.
I wonder how Claudia, the one of the stars of your show, she's very much a foodie, Claudia O'Darty.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's tried Goop Kitchen. I'm gonna quiz her about it today.
Send her a text.
I'm gonna send her one now.
It's in Australia. It's like nighttime there.
Fuck.
Is it? What's the time? I mean, it probably would be, but
I feel like
what is the time gap exactly?
I think she uses it as an excuse to like respond on her own time.
Sure,
whenever
of course,
she feels
yeah.
like it, and like knowing that no one will ever actually look up what the time difference in Australia is.
Apparently, right now it's the morning.
Is it?
It's the morning tomorrow.
Oh my God, that's right. It's
So
the future
yeah.
there. Claudia,
Find out what's going to happen on the news.
Claudia, what is tomorrow like? That's my first question.
There's a war going on.
Have you tried Goop Kitchen? All right, we'll see what she says. I do wonder. I think that it's like good, but is it like, if you're like a a foodie is not going to want it either, right? Like, it's not like good in that way.
I'm always ranking these chains. I think we're both doing this in terms of what they're aspiring to do.
Yeah.
And this place is like, it's not trying to be like a fancy sit-down high-kind restaurant.
I want to give it a worse score.
It's priced like, again, like a Tender Greens or like a Sweet Green. It's priced as that sort of like, upper mid-tier, healthy option.
For lawyers to get lunch at.
Exactly, 100%. And I think it's doing great at aspiring to do that. All right, we should do a segment. I'm Nick Weiger. I'm Nick Weiger. I'm Nick Weiger. And I'm Nick Weiger. All that and Andy Rooney tonight on Fake Chews. Okay, the segment is Fake Chews. So Mitch and Luke must determine which off-brand cereal names are real and which ones were made up by Amelia Marino, our associate producer.
Do you regret coming on the podcast at all? I apologize.
This is like so exciting. Game.
We want to have you on forever. This is the truth.
This has been fun.
Then the strike happened. We were gonna do like a Killing It. We were gonna have Heidecker, which we did have, and Claudia to promote it, and you.
Killing It and Twisted Metal, both kind of casualties of timing in terms of the strike and when you could promote it, unfortunately. But a very funny show. People should check out on Peacock.
It's great.
Not starring, but
not
Mike
starring.
Mitchell. Like, really,
I mean, let's not say starring.
Some could say starring. It depends on what
I will say, Mitch's character, Dean Trovia, is my favorite name that I've ever It's so hard. Of 20 years of writing, somebody else in the room pitched that, and I don't remember who, but it's the happiest I've ever been. It's so hard to come up with a name that is not. That feels real and specific, but doesn't feel like a comedy name, but also doesn't feel boring. And then a name that can clear, because if all the time you can't give anyone a name that a real person actually has, or your legal team kicks it back to you. And so Dean Trovia is like a true stealing fire from the gods kind of moment where I was like, oh, it's great. It's the best. And enough so that we talked about spinning the character off. Based entirely on the name, not not the performance.
The performance, no way.
No, you're so funny in the show.
Oh, it was my first time being in New Orleans. This was when I went down to shoot the show. Yeah,
I remember.
People can
for this first season there.
You just bought your house. You seemed a little crazed.
I was out of my mind. It was a crazy. My mom. I left to go do the show. I left my mom in LA. It was wild. It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very happy to do it.
It was also right during COVID still, and
yes,
everything was crazy. And
did
you get bed bugs?
I didn't get bed bugs. No, I think I brought bed bugs.
A lot of people got bed bugs in the production. We were flying people down, and whatever hotel they were putting people up had bed bugs for sure.
That's a bummer.
It's kind of gross that I probably just didn't notice.
People can check out both Killing It and Twisted Metal on Peacock. If they're not on Peacock, get a trial. Check that stuff out.
I love that. Bjorn Lurpus was my Parks and Rec name. And then Kyle, I got Kyle Murphy, which is
that was had to be normal because the Parks and Rec thing that Mike does is that's like a very Mike Schur thing, which is when you write scripts for actors and you just somebody's TV news reporter, man on street, you write, often in the script it just says man, and when you just have one line, and then the actors start, and then always what happens is you cast someone in a bit part, and then their agent calls and is they're requesting that you give the character a name.
Right, looks better in the credits.
Yeah, because it looks better for them to be he played, Steven on Parks and Rec, and everyone's like, well, Steven, that's obviously
as opposed to Man in Bar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And because otherwise you look at your IMDb and it's just nurse, doctor, bartender, whatever.
It's huge.
It is shit. Guy.
That is. I literally have a role where I'm called Sweaty Neckbeard. That is a real. And I audition for gross guy, you all the time. You do audition.
And so Mike Schur started giving every character, because all these names are never said out loud. So the characters have, if you ever look at the credits for Parks and Rec, every minor character has a crazy name to the point where I think they would have rooms sort of pitch on these things that are essentially Easter eggs or sub Easter egg, and sometimes it's sort of a fuck you to I feel to the actors, because the actors don't actually want to have a silly name. They just want to be you want to you want a name that makes it sound like you might be the lead, which is like you want the
Right.
name of your character to be like Aaron Steele or something, you know? Not, what was your...
Oh, I loved Bjorn Lurpus.
Yeah.
I think it's so much better than like stranger or whatever.
Yeah,
like
much better
public
than
Guy at meeting, you know.
guy at meeting. Yeah. A good thing for all you writers out. The
Yeah,
young
100%.
writers.
No,
Change
right
it up.
names in there.
Mhm.
All right, so this is Fake Choose Serial Thriller Edition. Mitch and Luke must determine which off-brand cereal names are real and which are fake. First up, Crispy Colors. I guess buzz in with your name because there's only one right
Okay.
answer.
Mitch.
Crispy Colors.
Mitch. Fake.
No, I'm sorry, Mitch. It's real. Crispy Colors is an off-brand Fruity Pebbles.
That makes sense. I forgot that this game
Colors.
Crispy Colors. I forgot that this game sucks. It's gonna be this where you're like, oh yeah, I guess that is fake. And it's gonna happen 10 times.
I mean, you could like react more.
Oh,
You could
sorry.
be like,
All right. Well, I'll do that.
Crispy Colors.
Oh, Crispy Colors. Huh? It makes me think like Fruity Pebbles. I'm gonna say true, Nick.
Well, you already, but no, you're. You got it wrong before you have the same reaction.
Okay,
or else
all
now
right.
it changes the game.
Crispy Colors makes me think Fruity Pebbles, but I don't think it's real. I'm gonna say false, Nick.
Mitch, it's real.
Oh my God, what? Oh, I should have thought since it's like Fruity Pebbles that it's true.
There we go. Yeah, just some of that.
All right.
Okay.
Give us a second one. We can do this.
Next up, Freaky Fruits.
Freaky Fruits, huh? That reminds me of
Luke.
Fruity Pebbles. Oh,
I
sorry.
heard,
Go ahead.
wait, I'm sorry.
I heard Luke.
I'm going to say false.
Freaky Fruits is an off-brand Trix that's also real.
Oh my God.
You put 2 real ones in a row.
2 real in a row.
That's like...
Well, now you know what the next one's going to be is false.
Well, we'll see. Is it real or is it false? Is it fake? Choose. Mystery Squares.
Mitch.
Yeah.
Mystery Squares. Okay, so Mystery Squares makes me think of maybe a Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You know, you don't really get where... I don't know, I guess they kind of do define what Cinnamon Toast Crunch is. It's cinnamon toast and, you know, a crunchy cereal. Mystery Squares. That doesn't make sense. I'm going to go false.
But you are correct. This one is fake.
Wow.
So there's 10?
There are 10. Mitch is on the board. It's 1-0. All right, next up. Cream of Crust.
Luke.
I heard Luke.
It feels crazy not to buzz in.
Oh no, yeah,
Seems like there's no-
you could just you can just do it always and guess forever.
Because
Oh,
if you just buzzed in every time, you'd beat me because you're
Yeah.
not penalized for getting it wrong, right?
no,
We could add, I mean, if it helps the gameplay balance, we
I
can
think
add a
we should
penalty
probably-
for...
Yeah, I
add
think you
that.
need to.
Okay,
Because
so
other-
then you would be minus... No, you'd be at 0 now and you'd be at -1.
Okay. Because otherwise it's like the Jeopardy thing where it's all just about buzzing in quickly.
Right.
yeah,
I'm sorry, what was it? I was thinking about saying my
It
own name.
was Cream of Crust.
Cream of Crust. That's false. No way.
You are correct. No, you're both back
Cream
up to
of
0.
Crust.
Okay.
Come on,
All right, next one. Skipper's Swallow.
Mitch. That's fake.
Mitch, you are correct. You get
That's
that one as well.
Skipper's Swallow.
It's like a Captain
You're up to
Crunch.
one.
Captain Crunch, but it's like,
It is an off-brand Captain Crunch that Amelia made up.
and it sounds sexual. It's fake. It's fake.
All right, next up. The game is Fake Choose or Fake News. I can't remember. Sweet Niblets.
Luke, false. Same
Luke,
logic
you are
as the
correct.
last one,
You
yeah.
are correct.
Yeah.
Sweet Niblets, which is dubbed an off-brand Apple Jacks, is fake. Next up.
Wait, so she dubbed it an off-brand Apple Jacks?
Yeah, she put a parenthetical that was saying what it was. I don't know if I'm supposed to read that as well. It's not clear.
I like it. It shows you the thought that was put in.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read that as part of the clue, or do you want me to just say the name, the brand?
Do you have them for the real ones as well?
I have them for all of them.
Okay.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we retake the ones we've already done? Or?
No.
Okay. Next up.
Will you say the score before each?
Yeah. Mitch has 1. Luke has 1. We are on number 7, which is Coated Crunch, an off-brand Frosted Mini Wheats. Coated Crunch.
Mitch. Yeah, true.
I'm sorry, Mitch. You're back down to 0.
Oh my
because that one
God.
is fake. Amelia
Okay,
made that one
that's
up.
good.
Next up.
That one's good.
Tastios, an off-brand Cheerios.
Luke, it's true. It's been too long without a true one.
You are correct.
Yeah.
You have 2 now. It's 2-0.
So this just starts becoming like the breakdown of like what a quiz is, I guess.
I mean, I guess you can metagame it in terms of like what would the order be? Though I think she kind of threw us off with 5 fake ones in a row. Like that's pretty unconventional.
This does remind me of middle school where I was like taking a quiz and I was like, well, there's like 3 in a row that are true. So this one has to be, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I'm also able to see what's real and fake here from my vantage point.
Next up, glazed flakes of frost. This is an off-brand Frosted Flakes.
Fake.
Mitch, you are correct. You have 1 point to Luke's 2, which means it all comes down to the 10th one.
Wow.
Magic Treasures and off-brand Lucky Charms. Magic Treasures.
I feel like now that I've revealed that I can see the answers, I should let you.
Yeah, and I should. I mean, this does settle the game. I'm going to say true for Magic Treasures.
You are correct, which means you tie.
Wow.
Yeah.
And tie goes to the guest, which means Luke wins.
Oh,
Congratulations.
what the fuck?
Attached are photos of the real cereals if we maybe want to throw them up on the screen after the reveal. Okay, probably should have read that first. I didn't. That's at the end.
I guess that probably would have been a better game.
We could put it in the edit, I guess. Yeah.
Wait, it was only the real ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't Photoshop.
I guess they weren't.
Ones.
I guess they weren't Photoshopped.
That's fun. That's a fun game. Yeah.
All right,
we
so maybe
didn't do
next
that.
time we do this,
Yeah.
we'll Photoshop some fake ones.
All right.
That's not too much work, which it probably is.
I didn't
Probably
like.
doesn't work.
Well, you know, we
saying
could
our
use
own
AI. We could
names.
use AI
Yeah,
images.
we won't use AI.
What was that? You didn't like saying your names?
As a way of buzzing in.
Do you have another pitch?
Should we
That's the
buy
best
buzzers?
response.
Yeah,
Some sort of a
buzzers?
noise.
Should we get buzzers?
Yeah.
I would love to get buzzers. Can we
Physical
get
buzzers that
Yeah.
you can buzz?
All right, let's get buzzers.
I think we
That's
should
fine.
get buzzers.
That'd
I
be
think we
good.
should get buzzers.
I think we should get buzzers, and Mitch should have to buzz in to speak.
Throughout the episode?
Yeah, just generally.
It cuts your mic every time you're done.
Fucking bullshit.
That was fake news. Fake choose, sorry.
I said one question about the copyright stuff
Yeah.
with the AI. You had said earlier it was obviously satire, but like this is sort of a journalism enterprise, right?
I guess so.
Like it doesn't feel to me that you could say that this is obviously, I mean, it is obvious, of course it's comedy, but it's like not parody, right? Because you are talking about real places and doing real reviews.
Yeah, I don't know how you classify it exactly. I mean, like it's a. If we're talking about,
I got this
audio,
covered. Edit point, Emma.
just like a restaurant about your feedback, let's open the feedback. Today we have an email.
Wait, hold on a second. I want to address the AI thing for a second.
Okay.
We made a website. We did a bonus a Christmas special, which we reviewed Rudolph's Roadside Grill or something.
It was a fake restaurant which we reviewed with Gabrus and Fran as characters, not as themselves.
I was like, it'd be fun to make a website. So Amelia did a ton of work. She made this website, and I was like, it would be cool if there was like images on there. And I made a mistake. I said, throw up some images of some. I was like, sure, we can use AI images look. The thing I forgot about is that's always stealing. It's just stealing other people's artwork and creating something. Someone spent a long time on this. We asked an artist friend what to do, and they were like, use AI. We paid people for the work to do it, and we paid people, like, it was a mistake, and I didn't think of it in the same way. Because then artists, there were some artists who were upset about it, and I was like, oh, that does make sense.
I get being absolutist about it.
It made sense to be upset about it, but it was a thing that we weren't even going to try to. It was going to be a thing that people would find. It was supposed to be bonus content, but it was a good point that AI should never be used, maybe in any context. And that's maybe overboard. There's probably some areas that it should be used.
No, Mitch, no, you're getting in trouble again.
I don't know if in
tool.
some science or I don't know some shit in the medical field or whatever. I have no idea. I don't know AI. I don't get it, but it doesn't make me feel. I felt bad because we had talked about it all strike, and I do think that like taking over someone's likeness is fucked up, and writing scripts with AI is fucked up. And then it should, like you should pay art, and we do pay artists all the time. But I felt bad. It was a fuck up, and Nick had nothing to do with it. It was my
That's
fault.
nice of you to say, but you also don't have to say that. We would take
whatever. It's the truth.
I also don't think you have anything to apologize for because I don't think it was that big of a deal. I think the reaction was a little overblown, but maybe I'm getting myself in hot water. I think as far as use cases go,
it would be nice. Get some fucking heat off my back.
As far as use cases go for like something like this, it's just like this is a dumb bit that we probably wouldn't have done anyway that no one's making any money off of.
Yes.
It feels like the kind of situation, like the very specific kind of situation where this sort of technology, this sort of generative technology kind of makes sense.
And we weren't going to
use.
promote the show with it either. It was a thing that literally we wanted people to stumble onto, but whatever.
But I understand that it comes across as like, hey, you're using your whatever this technology
and AI does steal
the
art
shitty technology to promote your show. Yeah, I get it. It's like, whatever, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Look, it was do it with AI or don't do it at all.
Yeah.
Those were the options.
Yes, yeah.
And maybe we just don't do it at all was the answer.
Yeah, that's probably what will happen next time is that it won't happen. Yeah. But anyways, we have a great artist friends who...
Guys, this was really intense and not like the fun experience that I was hoping for just now. I really didn't enjoy that segment.
Look, you're not going to get a Gene Trovia performance out of AI. That's all I'll say.
It's true.
It's the truth. But we fucked up, and then now that we acknowledge it, I had to say something.
Yeah.
We can edit you out, probably using AI.
Yeah. we'll throw in an AI Rob Lowe.
Just guys, fine with AI, I'm sure.
Just like a restaurant value feedback, let's open up the feedback. And today we have an email from @Terry McGee on the Doughscored. Terry writes, "Hey Doughboys, happy 2024 and congratulations on being mentioned on my favorite TV show, Jeopardy. Wow. I'm a former contestant myself.
Wow.
And a trivia fanatic. I even host 2 weekly pub trivia nights, which makes me wonder, what is your favorite food-related trivia fact? Mine is that Doritos were first invented in Disneyland at a Mexican restaurant sponsored by Frito-Lay. I did not know that.
That's a good one, yeah.
Thanks again for all the laughs. Look, this one is something we said on the podcast, but I do really like that Hydrox predates Oreos. Like that Oreos are the Pepsi, the Hydrox is Coke, but Pepsi won in this case and became the far more iconic brand. And now people are like, Hydrox, oh, you mean like generic Oreos? Like, no, they fucking invented the vanilla sandwich cookie.
Yeah. I don't know if I can think of any food facts off the top of my head. I know some.
I've always been like really interested. I don't think it's a single fact, but in the history of like the Dr. Pepper bottling company and its relationship to Coke and Pepsi, and they're like a real success story, and that they have managed to stay alive by playing the two giant brands off each other, because in different regions, in different parts of same regions, it'll either be bottled, Dr. Pepper will either be bottled by Coke or by Pepsi. Like sometimes you go and it's in a Coke soda machine at a movie theater, and then you go somewhere else in the country and it's sold with the Pepsis. And it's because they sign like these individual deals and they refuse to just say they had more leverage than just saying we're going to make Dr. Pepper just a Coke, not a subsidiary, but where it's always bottled by Coke. And so both Coke and Pepsi have spent all this time trying to come up with a Dr. Pepper competitor so they could just wash their hands of having to be in business with the Dr. Pepper bottling, which is where Mr. Pibb comes in, and Pepsi had like Dr. Slice for a while.
Oh yeah,
which was like and they've failed terribly. They've neither has ever been able to successfully come up with a knockoff Dr. Pepper. It's very similar to what happened with 7-Up, which is also like Pepsi doesn't own, but then the reason they're always trotting out Sierra Mist or Starry is because they'd like to not have to pay 7-Up. I get they lose money by having to sell 7-Up as their lemon lime beverage as opposed to one that they fully own. But they've also failed at that.
That is fascinating. I actually didn't know all of this really at all.
Amazing soda facts.
Yeah.
Soda pop quiz. Could that be a segment?
Quincy is the hometown of Dunkin' Donuts. That's my famous.
If you want to write in the Google Docs, soda pop quiz for later.
He's I guess taking notes to someone. I think to Emma.
Emma's here if you want to do that, but it's more like division of labor is more like an Amelia task. But Emma, if you want to do it, just send it over to Amelia. Soda pop quiz could probably be a segment.
Jemmy's licking my hand. It's pretty cute.
I guess we already have slop quiz, but it could be slop quiz : soda pop quiz edition. That's a great little bit of soda lore. It's making me think of a couple of other things. One is that I I said this on the podcast before, but I'll recap that I worked on a couple of Skittles ads years ago. And the thing that Skittles was very adamant about internally is that the language, they never say Skittle because Skittle is not the brand. The brand is Skittles. So an individual piece of Skittles candy is a Skittles lentil. And so I always think of that when I look at Skittles. It's like, these are all called Skittles lentils, which sounds gross.
Yeah.
It sounds disgusting.
You talk about it all the time, and it is gross. Thought you knew food you were eating, so did we. All right, so here's 21.
Oh, another one is that Arby's. People are like, Arby's, it stands for roast beef. It does not. It's Raffle Brothers.
That's right.
The guys who founded it were the Raffle Brothers. That's where the
Avocados
RB
are
comes from.
fruit. Caesar salad. I did actually just see this the other day because I watch like food now.
Invented in Mexico.
It's invented in Mexico.
In Tijuana, right?
People know that, right?
Yeah, because that place, like the place is still open. That
Caesar's, I believe, is what it's called.
Yeah.
There's like now that there's like TikToks about food, and there was one about the Largemont sandwich shop, which we were just talking about, and there was like, I'm at the Largemont sandwich shop, and it was like, we've known about this for 20 years.
How about here's one, and I've seen this in the Doughboys, but I knew this one, which is that Hawaiian pizza was invented in Canada. An Ontario resident who I don't think had any connection to Hawaii.
Makes sense. Fucking nasty.
How dare you?
Hawaiian pizza's not good.
It's good.
Ham is too slimy to put on pizza. Put bacon.
That's your
instead.
issue? The ham?
The ham is my issue. Ham is my issue.
Wow.
The pineapple doesn't bother me as much.
I think I like the sweet and salty combination.
Update from Claudia.
You like Hawaiian
I like
pizza?
it. I will say I don't always love it when it's like a big long slice of ham kind of on there.
That's
I prefer
fair.
it when it's like chopped up, whether it's like a little bit of bacon or it feels like it's been, more, the ham's more bite sized.
A little more texture to it. You know what else I like is I like that spicy Hawaiian, that fiery Hawaiian. You throw a little, because I'm a bit of a heat seeker, you throw those jalapenos on there. It's a lot of fun.
Update from Claudia. Yes. The future is fantastic for and also, yes, it's not bad.
The problem is it's going to air. This will air.
And it will be the past.
Yeah, it'll be the past, right?
That's okay. People will figure it out.
Yes, it's not bad as delivery food as for Goop. So
Yeah, I think it's a fair assessment.
Everyone's had Goop.
Do it in her accent.
She'd get so mad. I did like an impression once. She's like, impressions are bad. She's like making fun of me. Because I did like, who did I do? I did like Bobcat Gold or like Gilbert Godfrey, and she's like, ew, she hated it. I also had a Rowdy Mermaid strawberry tonic from Goop, which I didn't mention.
How was that?
It was pretty good. It was good. I'd never seen that brand ever before, so it was
Rowdy Mermaid.
It was a strawberry tonic. It's
Sounds like a bar in Baldur's
strawberry.
Gate.
I guess so.
Gotta play the game, Mitch. You'd love it.
Strawberry and bright hibiscus merge with detoxifying power of dandelion root and raw chicory.
Wow.
It was pretty good. Tastes like a soda.
Hit-
Anyway.
hit us up with your favorite food facts. #FunFoodFacts. And we will repost some of our favorites. And if you have a question or comment about the world of chain restaurants, you can email us at feedbag@birdfuck.com or leave us a voicemail at 830-GO-DO. That's 830-463-6844. Luke Del Tredici, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for making time for us.
Yeah.
Really
Is there anything
appreciate
you'd
it.
like to say
Big
about
chunk of your day.
our AI issue that we talked about
That'd be a
earlier?
good thing for you to comment on. Also, like, if it's weird if I don't have Mitch over at my home, if that's weird. And then also, if you have any sort of like pitch on the titties joke that Mitch was going to make, this will be a good thing to throw out there.
I just feel like the problem with the AI bit is your commitment to workers would feel, and your apology would feel more genuine if we hadn't had the joke earlier where you refused the minuscule bite of brownie.
Yeah.
You didn't want it going.
Right.
Yeah.
Being shared with not,
to the people who work for us.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, it sort of makes the whole thing feel more fraught.
Yeah. No, you're right.
No, that's fair.
And it also does suck when, when you're when your boss is like, do this thing, but we don't think of it. I mean, we've said this before, and I think we mean it genuinely. We think of Emma as our boss.
Yes.
We're scared of getting in trouble.
That's right.
It's honestly how all employee-employer relationships should work. People should be scared of their workforce.
I agree.
Yeah.
They could destroy us if they wanted to.
It's true.
If we go off, when an episode ends, you and I just talk politics for like 30 minutes. Emma records it all. So
Yeah, it's really up to me to keep you from getting canceled. So.
Anyways, it was an honor to have you. I wish that we had you.
To have you on.
Again,
People should check out Killing It. And anything you'd like to plug?
One of the funniest shows of the last couple of years. The Truth.
Funny, weird
truth.
show that's on
guys.
Peacock. People should check out.
Both seasons on Peacock. I'd love
great.
it if people watched.
There you go.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
And until
Sorry
next,
about everything else.
yeah, sorry. And thanks for introducing us to Goop.
Yeah.
What a treat this was.
Mm-hmm.
And until next time, for the Spoon Man Mike Mitchell, I'm Nick Weiger. Happy eating.
Yeah.
And we throw it now to our ad Chad, Killian.
Wow.
Killing the Ad Chad here, reminding you always that Doughboys is produced by Emma Erdbrink, associate produced by Amelia Marino, engineered by Casey Donahue, and video edited by Mike Dorfman. Want to watch the episode? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Doughboys Podcast. Doughboys t-shirts, hats, and more are available exclusively from Kinship Goods via birdfuck.com. Coming up next on the Doughboys Double, Mort Burke, a.k.a. Fork Burp, joins in the run-up to the big game for our own bowl, the Doughboys Bread Bowl. Which savory soups taste best in baked bins? Get the Doughboys Double every Tuesday, plus the entire pre-Headgum back catalog, only on patreon.com/doughboys. And to all my self-identifying Chads and Stacys, stay tasty.
Sources for the intro are in the episode description.
That was a Headgum podcast.